Hey, what is going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, along with Craig Skidmore here on highvibe.tv for Deep Love Tarot, your weekly love horoscope for the week of June 1st through the 7th of 2020. Rabbit. It's the first day of the month, and boy, oh boy, is it one of those intense times in the zodiac. And of course, we see that out there in the world today. If you never watched the show before, make sure that you join us on highvibe.tv because this is the show where you can get so much, but it is the network that hosts this show that has so much awesome content. I just got done, of course, last night, putting up this morning all of my sun sign weekly horoscopes like I've done for the last 5 years every week. Daily videos, daily horoscopes, weekly intuitive, weekly tarot, so much. And we've got so many awesome other talent that are on highvibe.tv. Make sure that you check it out. Of course, we film so much of it at the studios here and with people all around the world. So make sure that you check it out, highvibe.tv. And make sure that you're a member because you get full disclosure. You get so many awesome different shows that we have where you can actually get me fully uncensored, talk with Craig. There's a lot there. So also, 2020, what's next? I know a lot of people hit me up over the weekend freaking out that the predictions that I made on April 24th, the next prediction video that I had just made here, all came true this weekend. So I'm just trying to let people know this video that I made, 3.5-hour horoscope, where I give it to you raw, uncensored, and true. I can't put it on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's that intense. So you can purchase it now at highvibe.tv. Go to the paid video section. And I got all my stuff done there. What's going on, Craig?
What's going on, Davey boy?
Yeah. You know.
Wild world we're living in. So thank you all for joining us this evening or when you are watching it. It's hard to wrap your head around everything that's going on right now. And let's just delve into that love, that self-love, that, that's it. That's what I got for right now. We're jumping in.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that. It was interesting because being an astrologer, you can imagine the text messages I get. But how many years? I mean, for a decade when intense stuff happens to the world. And as an astrologer, and all of us that follow astrology or really are in tune with the universe, we use this tool to understand when these times come. And so that gives you some sort of, understanding that helps you understand what's just going on, opposed to feeling like it's just like, is it all just too much in the world? Is it all too much in life? Is every part of life unfair and unjust? Like these are moments that the universe helps us understand, and we can see ahead, we can see backwards to reflect and how we get through these moments and how we can find the ultimate, that spiritual truth for everything. And spiritual justice comes in many weird forms. And this is a beautiful time for us all to find the love for one another and find the true collective. And that's what we've always preached here at High Vibe. That's what I've always preached as an astrologer since the beginning, was about the collective. And we always start off, of course, on this show with the love reading about the collective first. So I just want to say that the collective is always first, and all of us as human beings, it's always about that. And that's what truly, for years that I don't even like doing horoscopes for each sign. Of course, everybody likes it. But I've always been a collective astrologer because that's just been where I've always felt the most called about the unity of all of us and that we're all being affected all the time. And I think that the more that you see in the last decade of where the astrology has brought us is there's no more events in the world that just affect individuals. It affects everybody. And we all have to come together and support one another. And we all have to come together when other individuals go through things and support everybody right now. And we all have to be there for each other in the best ways and the highest ways that we can. And I think that's super important to remember during these times.
Definitely. I did want to touch before we filmed a new segment of There's an Art to Life on Friday, finishing up editing it tomorrow morning. So it'll be up on Tuesday, June 2nd. It's this heart chakra, which I think is very fitting right now. Let me get out of the way. With Kim Tabe. So make sure you join in for that. And also, Kim does all the art that's here, so hit her up on Instagram, Kim Tabay. That's Tabay, or Kim Tabay Art. Also, you can find her on kimtabay.com. She's got a bunch of prints and all that. She does all this beautiful art that decks out the High Vibe Studios. So
it super decks it out. Especially, we do have spiritual dance music this Friday for the Lunar Eclipse that's going to be happening on Friday. So we always use her art to deck out those shows. And I do want to say that the same night that Kim finished her painting, Anne and I finished filming the first of many different history docu-specials we're going to be releasing on YouTube and on High Vibe for free, which this one's covering King James, the King James Bible. We're also covering the Demonology series of books that he wrote. And it's amazing because Anne is a history professor, and she is somebody who has so much historical knowledge, especially when it comes to the era and the time, and especially in England and Great Britain, and even the previous energies before it became Great Britain, and her interest in the timings, what the astrology says, my interest in getting more deep into the history, and we just finished our first segment on that. So I'm finishing that in the edit bay. We also just hired a new employee here at High Vibe, so Maya. So we got so many cool things going on here to bring you all much more, and bring you much more, cool content. It blows my mind, to me, it's like 15,000 videos in, 8 years, just still like, but there's so much. But if you never watched the show before, this is the show where we're going to tell you about your love life. I am an astrologer, tarot reader, been one for a long, long time. And guess what? First thing we do is we do a collective reading. I'm going to give you the astrology, and then I'm going to put it all into what the tarot has to say. After that, we go into your 12 different zodiac signs and how it's going to affect you and your love by picking out of the High Vibe Red Cup. And don't forget, not only do we do the decks, but we also have the Astro Dice. Now, I'm doing it a little bit different with the decks today. Because it's such intense times and such an intense week with the astrology, I'm doing all tarot. Then we are going to use the Astro cards that are going to be to help us through the challenge. And then if you notice, I have 4 decks. Well, you can't see here, but I have 4 decks. I have an Egyptian deck, I have the Botticelli deck, or I have Oracle decks. I have, of course, the Black Mirror, and then I have the Sacred Oracle. So I am going to be, based off energy, to do the confirmation cards off those 4 different decks. I don't know which one I'm going to go. So it's going to be all randomly and different for everybody. And that's one of the beautiful things about this tarot show, mixed with the astrology, is I always want to, as the tarot reader, mix it up so much that spirit is truly coming through, not the human experience as far as like, who knows who's next, right? Who knows which cards we're going to go with? Like, not everybody's going to get the same reading. So it's going to be really fun. I say we just jump into this right now. And I want to say that when I do the collective reading, I'm going to give more of the astrology, but when I go to your zodiac signs, I'm just going to touch on very quick what it all meant and what's it all going to be for this week for you. Well, this is probably one of the biggest weeks of your life, and this might sound crazy, and I know you all thought that was crazy just weeks ago when I was telling you all that this time would be the most craziest time of peak out. I also talked about a very small window that was left to make adjustments in your life. I would say the window's closed, but it's not locked. You can undo the window to get through this time and make the biggest changes in your life right now when it comes to your relationships, because this is an intense time when it comes to partnerships, and you've got to make those choices. Because I've been saying that even though it felt like in the world that there was going to be some sort of lockdown, that wouldn't be released, well, we're seeing curfews, we're seeing all these things, and I'm just like letting people know that, what do you think I was saying for the last month, that the window is very slow? And a lot of people wrote me like, you're just talking crap. And I'm like, what, okay. What about your love lives? Think about that. This is like where you got to take it serious. And this is intense because Venus in retrograde, which by the way is once every 18 months, but it takes 8 years to happen in the sign in which it happens every 18 months. So the last one was in 2012, May into June. And here is the inferior conjunction of Venus retrograde and the sun going to be squaring Mars exactly in Pisces. This is gnarly and intense. What cycles need to end? What environment do you want to be in? What excitement, what curiosity? That South Node in Sag, you can't just keep the hope alive about situations, especially about relationships that just are not making sense, that don't logically make sense for you, that are not the environment that you want to be around. Remember, you got to focus on your locality right now and get a little bit out of this whole world perspective or where the world's going. You got to focus on your world right now and make sure that it is the best possible, because there is a total gaping, whether you want to call that hole or just an emptiness out there when it comes to trying to understand the world and focusing so much and getting lost out there in that space. Not only are we having that this week, but we're having a lunar eclipse on the 5th, so on Friday. So not only is Wednesday going to be this inferior conjunction, but a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius with the nodes, with Venus in opposition to the full moon in retrograde, with squares to Mars. Exactly. Mars 15 Pisces, Sun, and the moon at 15 Gemini and 15 Sag. And that is creating, with Saturn at the first degree of Aquarius, a semi-quadrant. Like, this is such a weird angle. It's a 135. So you got to remember that it's like a Ceci square, a Ceci quadrant. This is harsh core shit on Saturn. And it's a semi-square exactly to Saturn. And the midpoint of Neptune is between Uranus and Saturn. And Mars is coming to that midpoint. So I'm just like letting people know to just be honest and real. When it comes to your love life shit, you got to figure this shit out now, because this shit's not going any lower. This shit's getting higher in energy. I put on High Vibe on the app. If you're on the app, it is free. But if you want to watch all the content, we have a lot of free content on there. But if you want to watch all the daily horoscopes and all that, it's super cool. And we have a 7-day free trial. But on the notification end, I sent out a notification this morning being like, this is 10 out of 10 of energy. So I've always done an extreme, I have an energy meter I used to do. And for the rest of the year, I took down the energy meter because I'm like, there's no days where it's not extreme. It's extreme. And this is 10 out of 10 extreme this week. That lunar eclipse is no joke. With those weird angles to Saturn, with that really harsh angle to Mars, which happens to be the midpoint between Uranus and Saturn, I'm just letting you all know, with Neptune being there, and this is not going to be, we are driving, Mars right now is driving into the unknown. It is driving into an abyss. And when it comes to your love life right now, are you driving into an abyss that you might not come out of for a long time? I want you to think about that. There's an old movie from, I think, 1988 called The Abyss. And down there, the deeper that you go, the deeper that you get under the ocean, the weirder it gets. The sea monsters are down there. You have to remember that in the old times, especially Neptune is the ruler of sea monsters. Do you want to be stuck in the bottom of the ocean in a sea monster world? In the relationships that you're in? Because you're just too afraid to make change? This is hesitation at its extreme with Saturn in the middle of this lunar eclipse in weird angles. This Ceci quadrant is no cool, or it's not cool, or they call it Ceci square. But it is not an easy angle to the sun. It is not an easy angle with this semi-square from the moon over. We also have, during the Venus retrograde, a moon in Scorpio at its fall position opposing Uranus and Taurus. And that's happening tomorrow, Tuesday. So I'm just like getting people prepared. And as the sun and the moon are going to meet halfway through Gemini, this is the first of 3 eclipses that are going to happen all in the next month. So I'm just trying to say, this is no joke. And I just want people to, when it comes to love, you got to love yourself, and you got to realize, like, am I awake? Am I awake enough to start to see the truth and start to do what I really know I must do in my life? Because there is no more windows. That's why I'm saying, like, the windows are closed. They're not locked yet. They haven't locked the windows yet, but the windows are getting ready to come locked. Saturn's going to retrograde back into Capricorn here at the end of the month, in the middle of all these eclipses that are finishing out. So Saturn will be coming right there, and then lock eclipses, and we last that for 6 months until Jupiter, Saturn try and save some sort of day on December 21st of 2020 in Aquarius. But until then, I'm sorry to say, it is not looking good. With the Mars coming into Aries and it's going to retrograde, it's going to make hard squares. I'm just giving you guys a little bit extra for the collective here, This is no joke. This is 10 out of 10. And believe it or not, we are going to see, like in the old days, especially in music, they would click it to 11 to peak out and to amp it out. The universe is going to amp this shit even higher. And I'm just letting you know right now, don't hesitate on being stuck in your illusion and wake out of your illusion, especially in your love life and all your weird situations going on here. We're going to go through it today. Let's see what it has to say in the cards. First card that we got is the Strength card upright. Yeah, you better have the strength to do what you have to do with love and relationships. Is your relationship built based upon where there's a unification of strength and determination and in alignment with the universe? There's also the Virgin here with the Lion. It's Leo Virgo. It is taking love, and does it work? Does this love work? Does this love work into a beautiful way? Because it's a tamed strength. It's the strength to be able to follow your heart and to go on the quest of a lifetime of passion and of happiness. And you know what? You have to have the strength, if you're a single person, to try something. You have to have the strength, if you're in a bad relationship, to change it. You have to have the strength in all areas, doesn't matter where you're at with love right now, to approach love and to find that beautiful energy. Our challenge card that we got is, wow, this thing came flying out reversed too, the Moon card reversed. The challenge is hidden emotions, not denying the emotions, trying to suppress the emotions, not wanting to feel the emotions, not wanting to go through the emotions of the strength that you know you have to do. You have to have the strength to do it. So it's an emotional challenge, yeah. It's emotionally challenging to go through a breakup. It's emotionally challenging to enter something and changing your life if you're single. It's emotionally challenging, yes, but if you suppress it, it is not going to do anything but cause more chaos, because what does emotional suppression do? All those creepy crawlers, those subconscious things, they don't just crawl out. That's when they start flying out. They start creating like a locust energy of like an infestation that just comes out, blah, out of nowhere. So, wow. Our overall card that we got is the Hangman. Holy crap. So, you know what? I keep talking about getting stuck or hesitation. I think that we're going to have to get a clarifying card to understand how if this Hangman is going to be good or if it's going to be bad. Let's see how we get through the challenge. We get through the challenge by the 7th house of partners. You can't make that shit up. So what partnership can you be your true emotional self? I love in this card how you can see the couple together kissing in the cave. And of course, the 7th house in astrology is relationships and partnerships. It is ruled by Libra. We got the 31 here, which equals a 4. We're in a 4-year, 2020. Got the Moon card reversed. So to get through this emotional stuff, you have to be in alignment with the right relationships. And you have to be willing to enter into the partnerships that make sense. This Venus retrograde is no joke here, folks. Now let's clarify that Strength card. I'm feeling the Egyptian deck, which we got, the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. There is so much fortune. There is the universe that is turning us into the tides of the universal destiny of where we need to go when we step into the Strength, where we know. Because the Strength card knows where it's going. It knows what it's here to do. And especially I love here in the Golden Tarot, there is a knight with, it's a knight with this beautiful Virgin, and there's a lion, and it is totally on the quest of the ultimate in alignment with the universal energies of infinity, but the total universal energies of making a choice and the strength to do it. And we got the Wheel of Fortune here from the Egyptian deck. There is so much that is moving us in the right direction when we find that strength to do what we know we must do. When it comes to this Hangman, we're gonna actually look at a black mirror. Let's see what it has to say. The Hangman is because Queen of my world. So, you know, we want to go to the position where you are in the world that you want to be in, where you feel like you can be fully who you are. Because if you're going to be hanging out there and hanging on the tree to get more insight into life, you want to be in the place where you're hanging, where you can be the ultimate king or queen of that world. So we got a great card here. And this is one of the better cards. There's not a lot of good cards in this deck. But if you're stuck in a place where you cannot be the queen or you cannot be the feminine energy of love and the appreciation of yourself, then you're going to be stuck in a world where you are not in that space. Astro Dice have to say, Jupiter in the 7th house in Libra. Oh my gosh. Wow, this is definitely going to be some wild stories when it comes to relationships, because this is all about new expeditions, trying to understand balance of partnerships and relationships more. There's fortune there, there's good luck, but it only comes to the pure alignment of what's spiritual justice, the spiritual justice of what's true in your alignment, what really makes sense, what comes together, and the bridge that it takes of a relationship if it's really about the experience that you want to go through in your life and the experience of the relationships that you want to have. And this is where we have to be open, we have to look at the true doors, and we have to be willing to see what's really there. Wow.
Yeah, we got to be honest with ourselves. We have to be able to tap into that power that we hold within and actually know for a fact that these relationships are benefiting us, or if they're not. And we can't be afraid to cut ties if they're not, and we can't be afraid to move forward with them if they are. I think it really comes down to harnessing that power and harnessing that love that we have within ourselves, and you know, obviously picking where we want to let that be received, but not being afraid to let it be received when it does come true.
Yeah. I just wrote in the chat, damn. First sign that we are doing for Deep Love Tarot tonight is, who's the lucky one? It's Pisces. Pisces the first, well, last sign's going first. Pisces got a lot going on.
Do they?
Oh, Pisces got a lot going on. Well, all the mutable signs do. Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Sag. Wow. Talk about a lot. All right, Pisces, just to run down, this lunar eclipse is going to be happening in your 10th and your 4th house. With the South Node and the lunar eclipse, don't get caught up into trying to make some big achievement right now. You just need to find the home and the emotional place that makes you happy. And you have questions about your home life, your family life. I know you want to do big things, but how are you going to go do big things? Or you think some big thing is going to change your life for some achievement, when this lunar eclipse is telling you the opposite, especially with Saturn in your 12th house. It's about some sort of ending. It's about some sort of like, you know what, some story is coming to a close, and you can't be in denial about that, about what your emotions are saying. And it's also facing the stuff in your spiritual life that's not in alignment anymore. I will say that, you know, Venus retrograde and the sun is in your 4th. So it is saying that you're going to have to be honest about your emotions, and you're going to have to look at the truth of what you want to do with your life and emotions in the world. With this astrology this week, Mercury in Cancer too, it's time for you to really look at communicating your true happiness and your true love. Wow, you pulled the 9 of Swords in reverse. So I think that you've seen the ugly truth, but I think that you're aware of it, so it can't scare you as much anymore. But I think that the nightmare of your life emotionally and relationships and so forth, like, it's become clear, but are you willing to face that now? That could feel like a nightmare, but the truth is the nightmare is just being aware. It's not the execution of it. So don't be afraid of any execution of what you must do in your life or a change that you must make, because, you know, it's really a card where I think it's like you're not in denial. Although I will say a reversal 9 of Swords can also be complete denial of not accepting the nightmare truthful scenario. So especially being a Pisces, right? So it's like how you deal with relationships, how you communicate, how you deal with these things are very important about your emotions and the emotional aspects. And then you overly, you know, getting too intense about, you know, control or direction and so forth, which is an issue right now. Wow, you pulled the Queen of Cups as your challenge card. So we are at a very emotional low, not feeling like self-nurturing well, not feeling the emotional needs, especially if we're talking about love and happiness right now. And so that's with, you got 2 reversals here. This is some deep inner stuff, dealing with some deep truths of nightmare scenarios, or, you know, going through a nightmare, especially if some place that's not emotionally going to protect you or be there. And what's the point of love if there's no, you know, true emotional connection? And that's a nightmare for Pisces. The overall that you got is the 10 of Wands. You're carrying a lot of weight. Maybe you've made it to the end of this story and it's been a lot of weight. Sure, there was a lot of experiences and life, you know, passions and stuff, but, you know, you're hunched over now. There's too much weight. There's too much to carry. You know, maybe this is a lot of weight that you have to carry, let go of. Maybe if you're single, it's like you keep carrying on the past. And if you're in a relationship, you're carrying on a lot of this relationship stuff that's not really providing you the emotional needs. So there's got to be some big change there. The way that you get through this challenge is the water element. Your senses are telling you everything. Your psychic intuition is on fire. Well, on water, should I say. But it is a beautiful time for you to realize that the only way that you are going to get to the ultimate emotional place that you want to in your life is you have to trust your intuition. You have to trust your sensing and your knowing, and you don't worry about anything else. Like, just go with what your gut and what your emotions are telling you, and what feels right for a better position for your home life, what feels better in your needs, especially when it comes to your intimacy, your desires, and your spirituality, which is extremely important right now. The reason why we got this nightmare card for you, wow, transformation. I pulled it, see how I threw this one out? Boom, we're doing a sacred oracle. You know what? You can have the ultimate transformation into the most beautiful energy of your life and relationships when you finally face this nightmare, or this is you staying in your bed, or always staying at home, or avoiding the world, or just so, avoiding the situations. There's a lot of avoiding stepping in, always finding an excuse like a typical Pisces. Nope, you're not going to go fly into the you love butterflies. I think I've known more Pisces with tattoos of butterflies than probably any other sign. Well, Geminis too. And when it comes to this 10 of Wands, wow, you pulled the 2 of Cups, which is the soulmate card. So there's definitely some soulmate situations. Either you're carrying too much weight and there's a soulmate situation finally that's here, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, why don't you drop it so you can have it? Or there's a soulmate situation where it's kind of reached this place where either a big change needs to happen because it's just too heavy, it's too much to carry now, and maybe there's a new road that has to be done, but that's going to be a big question. And there's a lot of things there that your senses already know. And more importantly, some nightmare scenarios of transformation that need to happen. And that's deep transformation from one being to another. I mean, literally a caterpillar to a butterfly is a completely different situation there. And especially with that Queen of Cups in reverse, that means you've reached a place where emotionally battered or emotionally not in the best space as it is. Your astro dice for this week is Uranus and Aries, 3rd house. So definitely going to be a lot of unpredictability, especially when it comes to how are you going to step forward into the future of who you want to be and who you want to have. Well, you have to communicate, and you have to be in the environment that's possible. You can't avoid the environment. Aries has the courage, and Uranus takes you to a better place. So you have to go to a better place. You have to be more courageous, and you have to speak your truth, and you have to not be afraid to, or it is going to bite you back in the butt with that Uranus in Aries. It is harsh, and it will be harsh to your head and create anxieties, or even make things seem like a crazy environment that is very intense and warlike because you're not choosing to make changes about living in the truth and living in the truth of who you are and what you really want. Don't be afraid of what you want. Not going to work out by avoiding what you want, and by also avoiding what you don't want.
Yeah, it's almost like, when you go through a breakup or you deal with some issue and we're feeling down on ourselves and we're just playing that same melancholy music over and over, that keeps us in that mood. It kind of keeps us down at that frequency. But at some point we have to kind of snap out. We got to change that station. We got to change that tone. We have to change the frequency of our life, or we're just going to continue to drown ourselves in our emotions and in our sorrow. At some point we have to dig ourselves out, and I think that time is now, so that you can get that love. You can potentially get that soulmate energy that is there waiting for you.
Yeah, I think that you bring it up really well. It's like you just have to do shit in life, because the longer you wait and you hesitate, more trash gets put on you. When you don't pull, a good example is if you don't take out the trash and you wait, it starts to smell, and then it starts to get gnats, and then it starts to get really bad, and then you have a bunch of gnats, and then you have to go make a gnat trap, which, is not fun to do. And then the cockroaches start to come. So sometimes you have to just take out the trash, Pisces. All right. We're going to do a 1K love reading because it looks like we already got 1,000 people in here. Remember, we're trying to push for 2,000 today because we always do a special 2,000 intimacy reading. So when we get 2,000 people in here, we'll do that. But right now we're doing a 1K collective, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's so strange. The back end it still says that there's not 1,000, so I wasn't fully prepared for this yet.
Oh, I had to reload.
For some reason, the back end of
YouTube?
the streaming service, has been off lately. So,
well, they have AI machines running it now, no people.
I'm sure we're pretty busy. All right. Time to make the donuts.
Time to make some donuts?
Yep. Voila.
All right. If you've never done this reading with us before, and those that have, you all know, I want you to pick some person that you're interested in, or it's your lover, or it's somebody that you're dating, or who knows? Some people got a slew of people they're dating. But you have to pick one person. And you can't use this reading on somebody else. So even if the reading goes the way you want to hear, but for somebody else, you can't change it. You also can't do it on people that you aren't talking to, or you're not talking on a dating app, or you're not in your life, or you're not connecting with, or you're not flirting with, or you're not, like that it's clear that, you two are both on something. So I'm going to do 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do you have that person in your head? All right, let's do this right now. You got to lock them in. The Hierophant popped up with this person. So sometimes you could be like, you almost look at this person as a holy savior, a holy grace in your life, or something that would bring you more closer to God, or a better life, a better routine, a more structured life. The Pope does bring that more structured energy, especially because there's traditions and there's like a feeling like there's some sort of ritualistic energy. Like it's kind of the love ritual that you would want to have in your life. And you can almost, sometimes, I don't want to get a little Moby on y'all, but praise, you can praise this person. The challenge here with this is the 9 of Swords. It just almost feels like there's been a lot of things that feel like just like you keep trying, or something just doesn't keep going the way, but it's really, there's some sort of fear here. And I think that it's unwarranted. It's like either that person is going through their own nightmare scenario that's over, or you're going through a nightmare scenario that you had to tell the person like, hey, I got to fix this shit. But there's definitely some situations here that are really good, but something was off, but maybe it's over now because this 9 of Swords is reversed. But also, is the person, in denial, or are you in denial? Those are some questions that we'll get more clarity on here. The overall is the 8 of Cups. So maybe that's due to somebody having to walk away. Maybe you're having to walk away from another situation in order for this to work. Maybe, it's coming to try and find as much emotion as you can, and extremely too. But this is a card where it does, move into a new direction. So either this person might leave fully out of your life, or you leave them fully. That's one option. 2, this can also mean that like they have to leave somebody, or you have to leave somebody fully. Or it also can mean that, both of you are going to take off together and leave all the crazy crap behind together. We got the Gemini card here. So there's definitely a lot, I'd say, with this 9 of Swords reversed. The challenge has been about true communication and being real. It's almost like maybe somebody doesn't want to reveal the nightmare fully. Somebody doesn't want to like speak about it. There's a lot of fears that need to be spoken about. And that's been the issue, is like there's a communication issue, or just finally like saying this is what's logical, and this either makes a lot of sense. It's not that much of a nightmare scenario. It just like things need to be talked about, figured out here. There's something about this thing that kind of in beating around the bush thing too much. The reason why that Pope card came up is the 3, it is the Temperance card, the Empress. These Egyptian decks are different to read.
What is it?
It's the Empress. Okay. And so when you get the Empress with the Hierophant, wow. We're talking about, 2 powerful people here coming together. So this is definitely like a feeling of this person and you, or you and this person, however you want to look at it, is a powerful combination of grace and creation and spirituality, and also creating abundance and creating a sort of life that makes you feel like it's got pretty much everything. I would say that this combination is extremely powerful. This is definitely not something to think is weak. When it comes to that 8 of Cups, we're going to do a black mirror. The Temple of my body. Wow. Okay.
Temple of my body.
I would say that with this card, with this 8 of Cups, it's almost like, I would say there's a lot of seductive energy. There's a lot of energy in that area that's extreme, but there's something that has to get out of the way, or you can't reach it. It's almost like somebody who you can't fully be with fully, or there's been an issue that's come up that needs to be fully removed in order for it to just get to the truth of the physical reality. There's something about the physical reality that's had issues, whether that is in the love department, in the sexual department, or just, could be online situation that, hasn't turned into real. But, it's definitely at that place. I think it's still leaving us with a hanging Chad here. So we'll do one more card here. And we did get the Six of Swords. This is the card that moves to the new direction and gets to the better side of the river, gets to the better side of the tracks. So, there's definitely a lot saying that this is such an amazing thing. Just things need to be figured out and actually go to the other side of the tracks and make it real. And that's been the issue here. And if this is somebody that you're in a relationship with and you've been looking at, there's something to say that, is it as great as it is? Is it really, maybe it is a nightmare. Maybe it was powerful. Maybe it just needs to shift, or maybe you're on two different worlds. There's a lot to think about with that. So, especially if it's on better side of the tracks, but that's what comes to, what are the nightmare scenarios out there that you've been dealing with, and will they repeat? Ninth house, Pluto, Scorpio. Wow. This is, this is like major transformation about a new experience, but in order for this beautiful experience that's seen to happen, a complete change in the way that it's going has to happen, or an all-in commitment. There's definitely an all-in or an all-out about this, especially with that Eight of Cups, especially with that Six of Swords, and deeply with the Pope and the Empress. They're all in or all out in their lives. So this is an all-in or all-out situation that needs to be figured out. And stop wasting your time if you feel in the gray.
Yeah, I was tapping kind of into, like you said, almost like the savior complex. Maybe that you're putting this individual almost on a pedestal, that you're not necessarily their equal. When it's true, to make that real partnership, you have to have that Empress energy. You have to be that equal. You have to let your divine energy flow out. Now, whether you're a man or a female, we still have that divine energy within them. And you can't let that go. You have to know that you are equals, and that to really succeed, you need to know that you're on the same level of respect and on the same path. Never below. Same. Equals.
Yeah, and it's like being in a relationship. Maybe at one time it was like, gosh, you thought they're everything, and then it's not that way. Maybe it's not in that alignment, or somebody could be looking at somebody as, this will save me, but that's because you don't feel like inside yourself that you can save yourself with dealing with your own stuff. So
yeah, we have to continue to be whole. We have to know that we are good enough by ourselves in order to have a successful relationship. I truly believe that. Broken individuals are going to lead to broken relationships, and someone's just going to get hurt. So I think it's very important for people to continue to be whole before they fully jump and step into like a new relationship.
Yeah, and I also feel that it is, though, whatever it is, an extremely powerful one. So it's like, it just has to be figured out if it is or not. If you both are whole or not, if you both can do it or not. Instead of waiting around to find out if it's going to turn into something. Because I think that's the weird part. Is there has to at least be the conversations that are uncomfortable, that Nine of Swords. But really, when you have the conversation, it's not uncomfortable, because you've already gone through the uncomfortable parts of not communicating fully.
Yeah, you feel a lot worse if you just keep it within yourself, bubbling over, or you're not completely honest. Fundamental relationship cannot be started on a lie. So, always be truthful with where you're at. Always be truthful, and be truthful for what you're looking for. And if it's not working out, if it's not in alignment with you, then don't be afraid to let it go, and step and find something that really is going to float that boat down the river.
Boom. Next time we got is Taurans. The Taurans. All right, Taurus. Give you a little bit of my...
What are you drinking over there? A little orange? A little orange action?
Well, when Christian was helping me unload the jet ski this weekend, and I was like, I have some Otter Pops in the freezer if you want one. He was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, oh, there's only orange left. And he was like, I love orange. That's what I was wanting. And then when I went and got my Powerades, I always get the blue ones, and there was blue and there was orange. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a blue and an orange. And I had done a blue and an orange with the Otter Pops. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a little blue and orange with the Powerade.
You should mix it. Back. Strange.
Yeah, I'm watching it on the phone. We didn't lose it.
It said it dropped the stream on my end.
Oh yeah, it did drop for a second.
And we're back, everybody. Yeah, YouTube. I'm sure they're getting inundated with videos and everything right now. So.
Yeah, especially some people might have to reload because on mine it completely is out right now. Oh yeah, people have to reload. Yeah, we have it's still, oh no, we're back. I was gonna say, we have the fastest internet you could have, fiber optic, fiber up, like 500 up, 500 down. So, it's definitely looking like YouTube's clogged up right now. That's why we are on High Vibe.
I mean, it's still only saying that we have 200 active viewers on the back end of YouTube.
Yeah, and then it's only telling us we only have 200 people on YouTube when right here it's saying we have 1.1 thousand. So there's obviously YouTube's having some craziness going on with their lives right now. Anyway.
Someone asked if they were real Otter Pops that you had. Or
yes, the Otter Pops with Sir
Otter.
Sir Otter
Sauter.
And whatever Blue, Sergeant Blue or whatever. Yeah, I don't buy the other brands. Like Taurus, right? Are you going to keep buying the brand that you don't want and love? This is a Venus retrograde and Sun in your second house with a lunar eclipse in the 8th house. So this is your financial energies, but spiritually speaking, especially for love, this is where it's like you want great things, you want great love. Well, you're going to have to trust. You're going to have to put more energy in. You're going to have to make changes in your life in order to fit in the things that you want. You got to sometimes throw away the old handbags that you don't want, Taurus, you know what I mean, in order to replace it with nice ones. So when it comes to relationships right now, where is it at in your life? And how do you know how to get along better with just people in general, right? This is a big square to Mars and Neptune in your 11th. So I would just say that, Taurus, this is about you understanding how to work better with people in all relationships and understanding how to be more like that you need people in your life in order to get the good things that you want. You need to know how to get along with them, understand their lives, understand them better, how to get along with them better. Mercury in the 3rd is helping you in Cancer to communicate your feelings and emotions. But I think that this Saturn aspect is like you need to grow up with Saturn. So like it's in your 10th house, like to this lunar eclipse, like you need to grow up when it comes to intimacy and trust and fully, I'm going to tell the Taurans, fully dropping the walls. You know how to drop all the walls, Taurus? Let's see. It's going to be a week that you are going to learn that lesson to get what you really want. You need to get one of the best cards in the deck for love, though, the Queen of Wands upright. So, guess what? Yeah, people want a Queen of Wands in life. They want the Queen when she's got all the angels of love behind her, and she is fully in her knowing of her true path by her true value, but she's also not afraid of owning that value. She's not afraid to put on that crown. She's not afraid to put on those beautiful clothes. She's not afraid to step fully into that love. So this is you overcoming fears, the fears of the depth. And also, what you got to do to get the love that you want and to get the attention that you want. It's all about learning the art of seduction in the 8th house of the lunar eclipse here. And this Venus retrograde is making sure that you have the goods in your self-worth to own that seductive quality. Your challenge is the Ace of Pentacles. So it's like starting a whole new world or starting a whole new way in a relationship, or to actually just build something new in your life. It's like that your life has come to a point, this relationship or somebody that you're dating, it's come to a point where it's got to fully be the ultimate pentacle, right? But it is an ace, so it's like starting from the true point of what a relationship is. Or just coming into the full new energies of relationships. Maybe it's a restart, but that's been the challenge. There's a challenge of this thing. Well, where's it going? Or is it going to fully be what it's going to be? And I think that, a lot of it has been not maybe fully stepping into it with your full heart all the way. Your overall card is the 10 of Cups reversed. So I think that, yeah, there's these visions that you want of this beautiful, perfect relationship. Again, this is one of the best cards in the deck too for love, but it's in reverse. So overall, it's saying that how are you going to get to this ultimate love if you don't know how to fully make changes in yourself or in the relationship parts and own that love fully in yourself and experience and show that energy of that love and show that power of yourself in a way that truly feels real instead of, I don't want to say fake, but there's a little bit of fakeness there.
Yeah, if you look at that one right there in the middle, I mean, that woman is fierce. You know, she has intensity in her eyes. She knows what she wants, and it looks like she's going to go out and get it.
Yeah, but the Queen of Wands, she's got that. She knows, but she knows good enough that she's got it. Where it's almost like the Ace of Pentacles knows what she wants, but she's unsure if she'll be able to get it. So she will do almost anything that she can. You got Libra, the relationship card, balance, right? Wow. So I think that this is you understanding how to balance your life out and realize that the changes that are going to happen in your life are going to be based on which relationships you choose in your life. Maybe you're back and forth between, well, do I choose, and it could not even be a love relationship. It could just be like, do I choose the relationship I'm having right now with my sibling or my best friend or with my children or my family or anything like that? That's, you know, like, but if you want to bring in a relationship, you kind of have to maybe counterbalance that with, I got to put more energy in the relationship right now. Like there's some lopsidedness here that's going on, and that's what's creating this not being able to go where it needs to go. When it comes to this Queen of Wands, you did get the Divine Feminine. Holy cow. So not only did you get the Queen of Wands in her ultimate of the Divine Feminine, but you got that. That's what you must find. You must find that grace and that power that you have to embrace the love that you want in your life. And you have to show that. So, you know, trying to do more of the masculine and control and trying to, you know, push in such a way that almost feels like too much, especially the control aspect, right? Like, that's not going to work out. You need to know, and you need to know that everybody wants you, and you need to know that your partner wants you, and you need to, it's within yourself of how well that you do that within you. When it comes to this 10 of Cups, I don't think you deserve a black mirror, but you did get the Temperance reversed. So you get a 10 of Cups reversed and you get a Temperance reversed. Yeah, there's something to say that there's so much beauty that's upside down right now in your life. And so you want a great relationship, but the container that you're in right now in your life, or who you are, how is it going to hold this amazing, beautiful relationship that feels beautiful with rainbows and the natural beauty of the goddess in the earth energy of Gaia? Well, you've got to make those changes in your life to be able to hold that, or be willing to, if you do enter, or if you make changes in the relationship, be that. You know, there's a lot of trying to almost like falsely create this when you look at your world and you realize you're not embracing that kind of world in your own life. Your astro dice are, you did get the 6th house Pisces, Mars. Wow, this is definitely big changes in your day-to-day life, your reality, your schedule, your work, and you needing to see through, especially since Mars is in Pisces and it's making big squares into the lunar eclipse and to also the Sun-Venus inferior conjunction point. I would say that this is about you having to like look through the eye of the needle and go, you know what, in order for these dreams to happen, I got to get rid of the bullshit that's not working in my life. This is not the schedule. This is not the job. This is not the work. This is not the way my life's going to be able to get the magic that I want. And I have to redefine that in myself. This is you doing a major overhaul in yourself in order to do a major overhaul to have the love that you want in your life.
Yeah, it's like finding the balance of that intensity of knowing, the intensity of pursuing something, and the natural flow of just knowing, the natural flow of letting it come to you. You know, sometimes we force certain situations that we don't need to. And in fact, we could just let that naturally flow. And other times we kind of sit back and let it walk by us, as when we should have actually taken that turn and we should have actually pushed forward to it. So I think it's that knowing and kind of figuring it out within yourself where that balance is kind of off, where you're putting a little too much weight that's tipping you off to the side, when realistically you should take that off and start focusing on a new direction to achieve that full balance and find it within yourself. Yeah.
Boom. Boom. Who's next? Who do you think's next?
Water sign.
Libras. The Libra card had just shown up, so naturally.
I know at least one Libra that'll be happy that we're getting done with this before the first hour mark.
Yes, I know the same Libra. Yes, I do. I know the same Libra.
Hey, we know the same people.
That Libra better make sure that all the pictures are ready for us so we can get out that beautiful work and art that we just made. People are probably like, what in the hell is this guy talking about right now?
Come on, Libra. You
Libra.
know who you are.
You know, we had 2 Libras here today, actually.
That's true,
Christmas.
Oh, just so much balance.
Actually, I put up a really funny meme. It's hilarious and I jacked it from somebody on my Instagram earlier. And I don't know if you could show just down here on the cards real quick. And it's from Cruel Intentions. Isn't that's what it was? With Ryan Felipe. Yeah. And it's Leo with a vain, indecisive Libra, but then also with a Gemini, a funny, communicative Gemini. I thought that was funny. I'm like, I'm losing my shit. Those have been the 2 that have always in my life, always I've been in relationships with, but they always been crazy.
No, I just got a text her and she said, what? I thought you were talking about Jax. No.
No.
We're talking about you.
I'm talking about you.
Talking about you. You know who you are.
You know who you are. You know who you are. All right, Libra. Well, I actually think that this is a great time for Libras. This is great aspects. Believe it or not, the lunar eclipse is happening in Sag and in Gemini, which has to do with your 9th and your 3rd house. So, this is about the great adventure and experience in your life for relationships. And maybe, and for partner Libras, it might be a little difficult because it's now saying, rethink what you've been doing here. It's time to look at other options and make sure that you are sure this is really what you want, especially with big questions of the Venus retrograde in Gemini in your 9th house. Like, are you sure this is going where you want to go, Libra? And with the big squares to Mars in your 6th house, is this the lifestyle? Is it boring? Well, Saturn in the Ceci, square with the semi-square in the middle of this lunar eclipse is going to say, you know what, Libra, love is everything. And sometimes it's hard to do the electrified love instead of the dull love. You pulled the Hangman reverse, so yeah, I think that you've been stuck enough to see the truth, so it's time to remove yourself. Get out of the cave. Get out of the hermit mode. Even if you are, I think that, get out of the same old, same old. Do you want to go another week where it's just going to be the same old story again? No. You want to go to the Bates Motel? 3 of Pentacles in reverse. So I think that some of the problem here, relationship-wise, is like, it just doesn't feel like, if you're in a partnership, I would say it's not feeling like, coming together to build the things fully that you thought that you wanted to, or maybe you don't like the way they decorate things, or you don't like the way that they're creating the world that you want. It's almost like you're always having to say, no, wait, hold on, we're going to adjust this, or no, this isn't what I really want. There's something to say here for, I would say, together, Libras, like, there's something where it's like, I don't know if you want to be stuck in this because there's not a lot of, creative energy, and there's not a lot of, beautiful energy the way you thought it would. For single Libras, it's like, why are you not creating that beautiful energy, and what are you holding on to? It's like holding back, but you've got enough info of why you held back, so nothing to hold back on anymore in experience. You got the Justice card upright, so overall, this is, the true balance of life and getting the true balance of the true justice of the relationships that you want. And also, this could also feel like overall, maybe it's like, there's things going on about, well, whether this person and I, it could be marriages, or there could be, business, like negotiations or contracts or whatever. That might be something that, just has to be figured out and, dealt with. But, when it comes to your own life and like love, I would say that Libras are having to get out of the cave, and you've got all the info, and get out of trying to build either without people or with people that just aren't building things in the way that you want to be building those things in life. It's like kind of turning in a weird direction. You did get the Saturn return card with this 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, you're not going to go create anything great for your future life, especially if you're with somebody where it's almost seeming like either A, they kind of are boring, number one, or they just have too much of the traditional goals. It's not the magic that you're looking for. I feel like a lot more magic's here. This 3 of Pentacles likes to go build things with people that is different. Sometimes it can also be a little bit of a love triangle. Maybe you're thinking about somebody else, Libra, and trying to debate it, and it's kind of a weird love triangle situation. Saturn return card here is like just trying to say, like, you know, be an adult, make the choices and do the shit that you need to do, and don't make it crazy, but also don't waste your time in your life. Your whole age is dependent on Saturn. Doing things that you don't want to do. It just feels very much like that. When we get this Hangman, I'm going to pull you a sacred. Wow, death card. Yeah. This Hangman reverse is saying, like, this is a major transformation, but it also means that you are ending something in order to free yourself to get out of a stuck situation. Or if you're single, in order to feel stopped and whatever, you have to change the way that you choose to be stuck, or you need to put a complete end to stupid situations that are keeping you stuck if you're single right now. That death card also is about seduction in many ways too. The seduction to bring in the truthful things that you really want in your life. I would say that there's some partnered Libras out there that are missing the big O. We're going to pull you a Black Mirror card because you are a mirror. Wow, colorless angel. That goes exactly with what I'm saying. There's something boring. There's something boring, and I keep getting this for the partnered Libras. Boring, 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 boring. Colorless angel. Why go help anybody when I'm colorless and I don't have any emotional excitement or happiness in my life at all? I just don't want to do anything anymore. Could feel like that too as being single, right? It's like there's no good in the world. It's all colorless. Like nobody sees that I have this angel, that I can do all these great things. Well, have you changed your life and rebalanced it and actually stepped into the power? You are the Libra. You are the justice. You are the one that tips the scales the way that you want in your life. Don't be a colorless angel. Oh, man. Ugh.
Yeah, she's not looking too good over there.
And with the death card, I almost feel like Libras are almost feeling like they're dying in a relationship. Ooh. Jupiter in the 9th house, expanding your reality and also making massive changes. Even though Jupiter is at its detriment there in Virgo, it is with the 9th house, though, getting a little bit of a bump up, saying, you know what? We need to make the smallest changes in order to open up the biggest things. So to you, it seems like it's this huge thing to do something so small, like a rebalance act and change or leave. And you think that it's too much, but really it's so minor because it's opening you up to a whole new world. Ooh, wow.
Well, the good thing is, though, that you are able to change. I don't know why I'm like picking up kind of almost maybe like they lost, they feel like kind of like their sex appeal, their seductiveness into it, you know, and it's, I think that you need to find
Tell him, Scorpio, tell him!
I think that you need to find it. I think that you need to know that you do have that beauty within you. And yeah, I mean, we all kind of lose our way and we all aren't always happy with how we look. And then that kind of portrays out to the universe, but we are able to make those changes. We are able to, if we acknowledge
Social
it.
distance, there you go, colorless angel.
We are able to change that, but you have to acknowledge it within yourself as to what's not making you happy, or else it's just going to continue to bleed out into the universe. It's going to continue to fade out into your partnership right there, and it's not going to be healthy for it.
Nobody better jack this, but I think that would be like the top song of the whole world. Colorless angel. Like, whoa. Ew, Libra?
Get that seductiveness back, Libra. Find that sex appeal,
Imagine
girl.
just like... As I showed you all the meme, you know? Leos know how to keep it colorful. Aries! And speaking of those gnats, did I wake you up, Aries? Did I wake you up? I will admit, it is kind of a little bit of a weird thing for the astrology all over the place. Every sign's being affected intensely, but I will say that the air and the fire signs, this is their lunar eclipse.
So what is that though? If they need some more information on themselves, they can go to where do they go to get some horoscopes?
Highvibe.tv and just be a member.
Oh, you do dailies on there, right?
I do dailies, do weeklies.
Yeah, Jax is on there doing daily astrology now.
Tamara's
too.
doing dailies and weeklies, and we got Tim Losey with his health astrology. Annie does all of his own channeling stuff. Annie does tarot stuff. I mean, we got a lot. And the Peace Dealer does his weeklies on there. I mean,
it's all there.
But Aries, okay, Aries, we got to have a talk. You're not getting the cigarette talk, but we are going to have that talk when it's like your mind right now is blown. Can you bring your mind back down to the simple basics of your life for a second instead of getting lost into, oh my gosh, where could this go? And especially, I'm going to be honest with you, with the events that are happening in the world right now in life, focus back down into your own environment so you can get back to love for a second. Maybe you're nagging, people in your life right now because you want to talk about all the things in life and in every direction, right? Sometimes in the weirdest corners of the world. Right now, you just need to focus on communication of what you really want in your life. This Venus retrograde's happening in your third, communication, but it's square to Mars and Pisces. So it's like, this is you starting to figure out what's holding you back about love. What's bringing you your subconscious issues that keep coming back and forth, or you keep suppressing certain things. Are you in spiritual alignment? Do you have a spiritual practice? There's also a feeling like, I don't know if I ever will get where I need to go, or I don't have enough information or any of that stuff. It's like, no, all you got to do is be a badass Aries and move forward in life. And I think Saturn in Aquarius is teaching you that you can move forward in life and connect with what you want, but you're being more disconnected than connected. And you need to get out there back into the world if you're single. And if you're in a relationship, you need to learn to understand how people are, but you have to communicate instead of waiting till the last second and blowing up. Because it could be a major blow up this week that you don't want, with Mars squaring this lunar eclipse and you're ruled by Mars. You did pull the Two of Swords in reverse. Yeah, it almost is like you're hesitant to make a choice in a new direction. I think that there's massive hesitation going on and there's no reason for it, because it's not like you're blind here. It's not like you've got a blindfold on. Like, there's too much hesitation about just making a choice in your life. Am I going to be single still and stay that way? Or am I going to go on that date? Or am I going to say what I need to say in my relationship? Like, there's so much hesitation going on that it's like creating the craziness. Like, you don't want to do that, especially it affects the mental health, You did pull the Emperor in reversed. Oof, this is not an easy one, especially since you are very Emperor-ish. The Emperor reversed is your challenges. You're not feeling in your power. And I think because when you don't make choices, you don't make decisions, you don't step into trying things, you just hesitate all the time. Guess what? You're not going to feel strong at all. You're going to feel weak, And I don't want to sound like some people today saying that, but you know what I mean? You're going to feel like you're not in your power. You're not going to feel like anything when you're just in a hesitant place. Like, there's a lot of hesitation going on, Aries. What's going on? That was a sign from the universe. Wake up. Wow, you got the Judgment card in reversed. It's like God's trying to call you to do this in life, to go in this direction. It's pulling you and you're denying it. You're saying no. Why are you saying no? We're going to get to that. You're not listening to God's signs. You're not listening to God's calling. You're like, no, I don't want to do that. It's like, oh, really? Okay. End your emperor power. Oh, and make you hesitant constantly. It's like, oh, shit. Well, you can get through that emperor reverse by, that void off course moon. Are you just going to continue feeling like you are missing everything emotionally in your life till you get to a place where you are at wit's end, where you don't feel anything anymore and you feel like you are a robot? I'm trying to wake up Aries from being robots. I don't know too many Aries that ever would turn into robots, but with the astrology and what we're seeing with this tarot, woo, Aries, what the heck? You're turning into an AI robot. You better pull out of that situation in your life. If that relationship's robotic, if you are robotic about being single and too afraid and hesitant and living in your just drained emotions and not feeling anything and not listening to the calling that God's trying to do for you, come on. We're going to give you a sacred oracle. You got divinity. Oh my gosh, go to the divinity in your life. There's a key unlocking here that the divine is leading you towards. What's there to hesitate on the choice of the ultimate divine place? It's like, oh, I don't want to go to heaven, especially with the judgment reversed. Oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to season pass. Let me stay in the parking lot. Can I stay in the parking lot? I'm giving you a black mirror. That's what you got. Alone in the world. You're alone in the world because you're not going to make the choices towards what Spirit is calling you to go do. and to step into your spiritual place and to step into the quest of where God is calling you to rise up towards, if you don't rise up to that, you will be feeling like you are alone in the world. And I think that you are feeling alone in the world and you don't feel like God's on your side at all because you're choosing not to follow what God's trying to do in your life right now with love. Wow, you got a big roll with a Mars. Mars and Scorpio in the 8th house. Holy cow. That is total Mars, right? 8th house is the old ruler of Mars, and you got Scorpio Mars, and that's the ruler. Whew. Penetration, intensity, passion, intensity. You got to penetrate. You got to put endings. I was born with Mars and Scorpio. That's to get to that, right? Like you've got, and especially there's so much missing here. It's like an animal locked up in a cage that hasn't been given food forever. And if you don't give in to your needs and your hungers and your drive and your passions, you will feel dead inside or alone in the world.
That's what happens when you deprive your desires of actually letting them out. When you suppress them for too long, it's easy to get lost. It's easy to get off that path as to where you thought you were going to be is where you should be. And that's also the good thing too, is that you do have that key. And some say, no matter what, you're on that path, and we're all trying to get there. You just gotta find that your way back onto it again. You gotta find yourself. You have to get back in tune and unlock that potential, unlock that love that's within inside yourself. As hard as that is, it's also very simple. Once you know it, once you find that within yourself, appreciate it, and let it radiate out into the world, baby.
Yeah, because whether you're Aries rising, Aries moon, you got all that Mars coming up into your 12th, right?
It's time to go.
Balsamic phase of Mars to any of those three, sun, rising, moon. And it's pushing you to emotionally connect to the universal's truth instead of deny it and suppress it. And oh man. Woo! We're just rolling through, baby. We're rolling through, getting the fucking deep love tarot train going. Beep, beep. Oh, Gemini is the birthday. And guess who's got a Venus retrograde on their sun with a lunar eclipse on this birthday week? Geminis. We're going to have to turn up the heat here on Deep Love Tarot. Beep. Gosh, I don't know which twin to bring out. Well, Gemini, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
You've got quite a alignment for your birthday.
Happy birthday.
Let me just tell you, and it's not just the Geminis born this week. It's all Geminis. Gemini risings, Gemini moons. Guess what? It is crazy out there. It is crazy because you are realizing, are you crazy to keep going on a path where you are just going back into old patterns and old safe places that makes you feel like you're accomplishing something when it's just all like facade and like getting, I don't want Geminis to get lost. You got to put what you need to do for yourself first and what you really want. Venus is in your sign. What do you really want? Stop getting lost and, well, is this good for my reputation in the 10th? Square Mars, square Neptune. Oh, with a full moon lunar eclipse happening in your 7,000 relationships. Sag is that with the South Node. Oh boy, are you about to wake up when it comes to relationships. This Sag Gemini energy is gnarly with the nodes here and with your South Node and the moon here. Yeah, it's almost like I'm going to keep believing and this is going to take me to the right place. And it's like, oh no, I'm sorry. The other Gemini's being like, what the fuck are you doing? And you're like, well, I'm doing what I think is the best. Like, oh my gosh, this is like with Saturn and Ceci square with the semi-square to Saturn, which is happening in your 9th house. It's like, are you awake and looking around and seeing all the truth and being willing to, especially with Jupiter, Pluto retrograde in your 8th, like there's some issues here when it comes to knowing how to open up to what you really want instead of when it really does come, you block it and you take the fucking easy shit. Oh my gosh, you start with the devil. Ah! Woo! Either you are dealing with a succubus or incubus, or you are dealing with somebody right now in your life or yourself where you are, I'm going to be honest, this one's hard. Like maybe you're the devil yourself and at this moment. You're denying love. Or if you're in a relationship, you're with somebody, whether they got a lot of Capricorn in them or something, because the devil does rule Capricorn. I'm not trying to put down Capricorns or anything. I'm just trying to say that this card is a very Capricornian card. It's like, this is like, maybe you just Geminis fall in love with somebody in like 1 millisecond anyway. Maybe you just met somebody and it's like, they're not good, or it's not going the right place. Or if you've been in a relationship, you already know there's some weird shit going on, or you're doing weird shit, or both of you are. Some dark shit going on there. Oh, we got Temperance card in reverse. Yeah, this is definitely not a lot of beauty going on here. There's definitely a lot of fakeness, because see how beautiful the Temperance card is in this deck? That's what I think of when I think of a Gemini, but oh, it's reversed. The ugly twin is running the show. It's almost like there's something off about your love life wherever it's at right now, and you got to look at the characters that are in your life. So it might be one thing if you're a single Gemini and you have all these other options, but it's the one that you're involved with right now, or the Geminis that are in partnerships right now. There is some really off energy about true beauty. That's so funny. 10 years ago, True Beauty was airing. You guys were all watching me on ABC 10 years ago right now. But forgot to mention that. But anyway, the true beauty of the relationship. Like, there's something off on the true beauty of it. It's like false, fake. There's a lot of fakeness here. Damn, your overall is 9 of Swords upright. This is a nightmare scenario this week, Gemini. Look at this thing keeps going off. I can't even turn it from turning off. Yeah, and the sirens are going off. This is a nightmare scenario. I don't know who you're with, who you've just met, single ones, or what you've been in, but you gotta wake up and be careful. There's a lot trying to wake you up and save you from going down the wrong roads and being either lied to, or too much lust or darkness, or taking you down a really bad path, because it'll all end up in the worst nightmare of your life with that overall card. How do you get through this? You got the Cancer card. You need to go with your true feelings, but not the feelings of safety and trying to mom and I feel safe. I feel safer with the devil. I don't want to leave hell. Not that. You need to use the feelings that feel pure and not fake. Temperance reversed is fake, right? Because Temperance card is the earth and how slow it's built, and it's got the angel pouring the water into the river, and it's creating natural, true beauty. When you get it reversed, it's like building a fake palm tree for a fucking cell phone tower. And with the Cancer card here, how does that feel? How does it feel sleeping next to, or how does it feel kissing a fake cell phone tower that's looking like a palm tree? Why'd you pull that Devil card? The King of Cups. You know, the Devil can tempt to make you feel like they have power emotionally. Maybe you feel empowered by this kind of darker force that you might not even be able to see. Maybe I'm trying to wake some Geminis up here. But overall, I would say that you need to, in order to actually be the true king of your emotions and to have your emotions under control, is you have to deal with the devil itself. You have to deal with the darkness. You have to deal with the truth of the dark vibes, the dark energies, the dark people, the people that are not truly in your best interest, especially your spiritual interest. And if they don't believe in your spiritual interest and they don't believe in that shit, it's bad. It's not going to let you be in power and control, or this person has total control of your emotions. Especially because you got that Cancer card. You're getting a Black Mirror. Blinded to pain. Yeah, I don't think that you're willing to look at the truth of the pain that you're going through right now. And especially with a 9 of Swords. Oh my gosh, it's like the pain is there. The pain's real. The pain is real. But it's like denial of it. There's a lot of denial going on right now. Could be even just being a single Gemini that doesn't know what they're doing. But, and then choosing these quick, fast situations that feel like, you know, the devil's taking you over in many ways. Oh, I feel like they just need one card to help them through the understanding of all this. Oh, water. You got to go with where you know the true feelings are in your life that will cleanse you. The feelings of knowing where your real feelings are for your home, your passions and your desires, and your spirituality. And that's what brings the water to the point, is your spirituality is what brings the inertia up and holds the container of our soul. This is a question of whether or not you're going to be in a soul relationship or a soulless one. Mercury in Virgo in the 9th. Well, it's a very, very strong Mercury, but it's in the 9th. It's time to make sure that you understand the world that you are in, making sure that you've looked at all the details and that you've been like, do I need to make changes here? Mercury in Virgo is about changing your physical reality in order to open up the right door. You have a doorway here. Are you going to keep this little hamster wheel going? That's the big question. And beliefs have to do a lot with it, of the reality. How is your reality going to be, in your mind, perfect if the beliefs are never truly there?
Right, and a lot of times we can kind of get caught up in that infatuation. We get caught up in the belief that something is right, the belief that something is true. When in all reality, we are lying to ourselves. We get caught up in that infatuation of what we want something to be. I think it's time that we be truthful with ourselves. I think it's time that we actually pay attention to the individuals that are around us, the individuals that we're letting into our field of energy. You know, is it based on that infatuation, or is it based on that fundamental right of knowing and loving and appreciating? I think there's a big difference of appreciating the soul and just appreciating the physical form. I think you need to have both to get that true divine love, to get that true divine emotion. And I think that it's time to really pay attention to that.
And if you don't, you know, it's like fake, right? Like,
yeah,
it's fake. It's like you did a really good job of like breaking down fake in the deepest form that it could be. True Scorpio style.
Yeah, like what I always like to say to individuals that I get in relationships, because I don't address my emotional state the best. You know, I say, pay attention to what I do, not necessarily what I say, because I express myself by, you know, paying attention to being there, showing up. So maybe that individual is saying all the right things, but they're not really showing up when you need them to. And that's what you need to pay attention to, because people can say whatever the hell they want to do, but it's what they really do, the time that they spend, the time that they put into you, that's going to ultimately matter.
Yeah, and I think it's also about understanding like where people are at in their life and accepting them for who they are, instead of trying to like only look at the expectation of what that fake kind of thing is, because a fake relationship or a fake building of one is, well, when you're this person, I'll like you. I'll keep being with you until you become that or something, or until you're that, I don't want to deal with you, or stuff like that. Like, that's just fake. Accepting people of how they are in the moment, fully as they are. Like, that's love, right? Like, there's never anybody ever at the perfect spot. That's what I think this whole world has revealed in the change of it. At its core, is that we were all living fake. And that's why all of our relationships were going to shit. And I have to pee, and that's some truth, but I'm going to pull who it is. And you get a little 2.5 minutes here with Craig. And we got Sages. How funny. It was Gemini Sag. Wow. It's exactly where we're going to have these eclipses and these nodes are at. And oh my gosh. Anyway, I'll be right back.
Sagittarius. Orange Powerade, and welcome to this installment of Craig's Corner. Wow. It is no joke that these are some intense times in all of our lives, and in the love that we're feeling, the appreciation that we're feeling. And it's easy to get lost right now. It truly is, you know. And in that opening, I was definitely at a loss for words. It's hard to kind of place everything together right now, but it's something that we need to do in this life. You know, we can't necessarily just let ourselves fade away and shudder within ourselves right now. We have to put ourselves out into the world. We have to let that appreciation go out into the world, especially right now, especially everything that we've been through over the last 6 months and what we're going through right now, and what we will be continuing to go through in this foreseeable future. You know, as cliched as it is, you know, the whole saying that we are in this together, you know, I think that rings true more than ever, you know, in my lifetime that I've been alive. These are the strangest times that I've had to deal with in my adult life. I know other individuals that are older than me are, I'm sure, going through this again, you know. But it's really, you know, Dave talks about finding your tribe, you know, finding the people that are going to be in your life. And I think I would hope, you know, the individuals have been working towards that. You know, it's very important right now. And I hope that everyone continues to work towards that. It's a daily test, you know, it's a daily stress that we're dealing with, to kind of dig deep and find that love, find that appreciation. But it's there, you know, as hard as it is to kind of tap into times like this, that love is there. You know, it might be hiding behind fear, it might be hiding behind sadness right now, grief, you know, accountability, but that love is there. And I think that it's definitely something that we need to tap into right now and share it in whatever way that you feel. You know, there's no rule book right now for what we're going through. There's nothing that's saying that, I mean, it's time that you are truly yourself. It's time that you really stand up for your love and the convictions that you feel deep within inside yourself. I think it's time that we show our strengths. I think that it's time that we allow ourselves to be vulnerable to people in the truest raw form that is to you. You know, you're only able to give the energy that you have. You know, you can't promise this energy to individuals that you don't have, you know. So it's like knowing your limit, knowing how much you can give and still have that energy for yourself to succeed. Because I've talked about it before, you know, if you don't have that energy within yourself, if you're not whole, then nothing's going to fit for you. Nothing's going to work out. None of these relationships that you're putting this energy into, they're not going to work out unless you're whole, unless you're truthful, unless you're honest with actually what's going on within your life, you know, and feel all the feels, and just be upfront. But be upfront and honest with yourself. Be upfront and honest with all these individuals that you have in your life, your tribe that you've you know, made, the individuals that are sticking by you and that you're sticking with them. And just knowing that the people are there for you and letting individuals know that you're there for them too.
The more you know. That was deep.
Thanks.
No, it was. I think it's important right now.
Yeah.
Because I think you bring up, like, what's the point anymore of doing just all the BS now? What's the point? Like, this world has brought it down to just real. And that's what I think we've seen with the events that have happened over the last week. Like, let's all just get real. No more bullshit about racism. Like, we need to stop that in the world. No more bullshit when it comes to everything in the world, of every injustice. And injustice goes with relationships too. Like, so it's, you know, it goes into all areas of our life. And it was that event that triggered the truth, which is horrible, what's happened in humanity. That is a plague itself. That's the plague. And that plague goes into all of our lives in every way. But it extends into every part of all of our lives too. It extends into colored people more than all of us. But back to everybody, it plagues in every part of your life. And so this is an extreme moment for people to stop the bullshit in your life. And that starts with you first in your life, not living a bullshit life. Because living a bullshit life and having a bullshit relationship and having a bullshit of all that is all bullshit. And that's not going to change the events that we're seeing in the world and how different human beings are treated. Because what? You think that's all going to change when everybody's just going to keep living in bullshit? Because then we're going to throw bullshit on them. It's just the truth. So that's the real plague, not COVID. You know what I mean? That plague's been going around for fucking centuries. And that extends out into all of our lives in every way. But when it comes to your life right now, in your life, like, are you going to live in the bullshit of a relationship? Are you going to live in the bullshit of being single and just like not wanting to show up for happiness and love? You know there's a fucking clock ticking every day that you might not wake up in the next 20 minutes, next hour. Like, that's the reality of life. And the reality of life is hitting us hard, and it's going to hit us harder and harder and harder throughout this year. It has not even come to peak yet. This is one of those weeks where this is going to be a big peak. But as Craig knows as a surfer, And as I know, as even being by the beach, that waves come in sets. And it's always the last one that's the biggest. And we just saw the first set come in. And there's other sets coming in. And sometimes those waves get so big, you have no idea how to handle it. And it makes you want to swim back to shore, but you know if you do, you'll be pummeled. All right. Took a deep two there. Saggies, well, interesting time to have the Sun and Venus retrograde in your relationship house. We've talked about this one. Now it's actually finally going to have its inferior conjunction point where Venus gets burned. Venus in your 7th house of relationships getting burned. You know, it's trying to purify, like I said, I think last week, but now with a lunar eclipse in your sign, it's like your ego's in the way. How you believe it all should go down, how you think it should all be, how you've got this belief system in your ego of your identity and how you think it all should go down, which is not working. That you know you need help. You know you need assistance in life. You know you need partnerships that are going to take you to where you're going to go in your life, because you're going to have to be humble and realize that you're at a place with the South Node in your sign where you're not going to be able to do anything alone, truly. You're not going to be able to get to where you really want to go, and you have to make sure that you're with the people that are going to give you everywhere you want to go. And especially with all this in the 4th house, the emotional world is fucking chaos. So, and the family situations and the family dynamics and just all of it, it just is not in alignment with where you want to go and to the beauty that you want. At least the 7th house is beauty. Can you do it? Let's see, with Saturn now in your 3rd house, are you really to look at the facts and be an adult and connect to the truth, or disconnect and still think, I need to figure it out? Because that's your problem. You pulled the 3 of Pentacles. Oh yeah, it's time to go build the great things. You got to be around the right energy though, the right people. You know, it's about being people that are going to go build the things that you really want in your life, that are beautiful, that are truly beautiful, and not someday when eventually this happens or that or this. Like, you can have the amazing relationship in your life that's connected with the right people that team together to go build something beautiful. But if you're in a relationship or you're single right now and the people you're dating, or you're choosing not to date because you're like waiting till you can go build something beautiful, no, it's all that you can build beautiful things right now. Literally. You pulled the Page of Swords in reverse. Oh man, this is a communication issue at its highest degree, especially in the challenge position. It's almost like you're not communicating, your partner's not communicating, or you're single and you're playing weird. You're not trying to reveal something. Trying not to show it off, or, you know, this could be like not being truthful in yourself by living in the life of how are you going to build anything great if you can't even just be real and just say what you want to say and be what you want to be and communicate that and send that message off and push send and just do it in life. But also the challenge might be that you're expecting somebody to communicate to you the way that you want to be, but it's almost like that's not changing. Maybe you have a partner and you're like, I wish they would just finally get it, or they'll finally say what I want to say. Ain't gonna happen. You pulled the Star card. This is the card that comes out to the Tower. This is like the most beautiful card. This is where you get purified and naked and connect with the stars, and you're out with nature, and it's a whole new beginning. It can be scary though, but it's like, what do you really need more than your purity and your truth and your honesty? You're going to go build great things or not. Or you're just going to go sit and watch other people build great things and just think that you're part of something special when really you're not. Wow. How do you get through this? Desire, your fire element, passion. That's the issue. There's a lot of issues with passion and fire. It's almost like, I forgot, who was it that was, I forgot what sign that was not getting any passion out. Oh, Aries.
Oh, Aries.
Yeah, so, you know, it's like, come on, Sag. Your issue is that you won't go to your true desire of the things that you already know, and you just expect that desire is just going to show up? Or do you deny it? Or do you not want to talk about it? Or do you not want to experience it? Page of Swords is willing to jump into everything and do that's the one page that will fly across the universe for the king, right? Oh yeah, well, let's go. But in reverse, it's like your desire, your passions, your needs, you're not willing to make any change. You're not willing to fucking have it. You're not willing to swift into the excitement and the fastest card in the deck. No. You pulled the truth card with that Three of Pentacles. So this is definitely showing that unless you live in your truth, you ain't going to build the things that you need in your life, and you're going to need to be with people. And you can't do it alone. And you have to be honest with yourself if you are building anything great right now, or if everything's on hold, then there's a fucking problem. That there's some underlying truth there that this is not the path and the people that you're around. Revenge. Ooh, that is so opposite than the Star card. I feel that there's a burning desire in you that you see is possible in the world, and that you have held yourself back so long from your truth that to come into purity, it feels like you have to, I don't want to use the term revenge, but I almost feel like it's like coming back from being asleep and like behind in the race or something. Like there's just this huge extreme energy. You might also be dealing with a partner who is not pure, who is controlling and doesn't want you to succeed, and is always trying to find the revenge on you in some sort of way. And they don't want to ever let you go. This is some gnarly shit. The astrology's gnarly. I'm just pulling you a Four of Cups. Wow. The one card where it's like God gives you what you've always wanted for desire, and it's like you don't want to take it. It's like, I don't know. I want everything to be right, God. I want you to make the cup a little bit more gold, or a little bit more this. I'm not ready. It's an excuse card. The excuse card is the Four of Cups. God's giving you, here you go. No, you know what, God? No, I'm not ready. I didn't do my makeup. I'm not wearing the right clothes. It's like, gosh, you know what? We're living in a world right now, and we are going to live in a world where we're going to all be blessed just to even get maybe even just food at some point. So you got to really start to like realize like you have opportunities to change your whole life, and massive truth and a major denial of like starvation of desire that God's trying to give to you. But are you willing to take it? Are you willing to make the change? Or are you going to come out? It always reminds me of like the phoenix rising through the ashes, like this revenge card. But I also feel that it's almost like you're afraid of somebody to take revenge on you for your purity. That's what it is. Guess what? Purity will always outwin some dark, creepy figure that's trying to go take revenge. That's an excuse in yourself. There's nothing in the world of the darkness that should ever make you afraid to step into your purity and your light, ever. Somebody's like making threats to you, or you're afraid they'll make threats, or they're a fucktard. You got the South Node in the second house of Cancer. I think that you're so focused on security financially and emotionally, or home life, that it's not bringing you anything, that you know that you must make tough choices to get what your desires need, and you must take a risk, because the North Node would be in the 10th house, in the 8th house, or the 8th house in the 10th, with being that Capricorn energy. So, you know, in order to get what you really want in your life, you're going to have to take a risk and make choices and be an adult. And that's the achievement to get to, because you're really comfortable, lazy, and trying to stay safe. And that's also not giving you anything that you really want.
Yeah, look, you can't change the game if you're not a player in it. You know, you cannot change the game if you're not a player in it. So what are you sitting on the sidelines in your own life?
Damn.
Are you going to make the changes that are actually necessary to make the positive changes that you want to see in your life? Or are you going to continue to sit back and just hope and dream and just wish that it's going to come to you? No, you're going to actually have to put in the work and do it. Can't change the game if you're not a player in it.
We call that a bench warmer?
Yep. And I'd say the worst game that you can sit out of would be your own life. You need to take the power back into your own hands, implement that change.
Bench warmer. Warming that pine. Virgos.
Virgo.
Yeah, Virgo. My brother is now a day late. Or
Crazy.
technically my brother's not having the baby, but my sister-in-law is.
Any updates? Still just same?
The mucus popped.
Well, that's good.
I don't know what that means.
I'm sure it's heading in the right direction, though.
I think that means that she's ready to go into her water's about to break.
Yeah.
I'm not texting my brother because I'm sure it's a stressful moment. You know what I mean? Like anytime I'm like, what's the word? It used to be like, oh yeah, it's coming. And then, like right now it's like, not going to fuck with my brother. Not, because the last one was the emoji, like I don't know. And it was like, I could feel my brother's Virgo energy behind it. Like, I don't know. And don't fucking ask me because I'm fucking going through a lot. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I got you, bro. Gotcha. Well, Virgos, I know stress is a lot, and I know that you are pretty pressured right now with the lunar eclipse and going to square your energy in Virgo and Mars and Neptune opposing you. So relationship energy is nuts with Mars and Neptune because it's almost like you are heading into an abyss of unknown in your relationship, no matter where you're at in your life. It might be a positive thing and it's still scary. It might be also a very dark thing and negative or feeling empty. And the squares over to the Sun and Venus retrograde are saying, in Gemini, it's time to go on the trail to where you must go for your long term. You got to think about your long term life here, Virgo. It's not like, I don't know, well, I'm comfortable now and that's okay, but I'm not really comfortable because I know that this won't last long term. That's your thing that you need to face, whether that's in your single life, in your relationship life. And Saturn in the sixth house is saying major reality changes must be had in order for you to make sure that you get to a place that doesn't feel like you are walking into an unknown door that does not feel safe. But why stay safe on the other side of the facade of that front door instead of just walking through that door and being your truth and taking your steps to where you feel is the right for your long term about love. I mean, Jupiter and Pluto are retrograding in your love house. Come on, Virgo. You know deep inside what will bring you love, but why are you in denial of that? Saturn's going to teach you a big lesson here at the end of June. Pulled the High Priestess card. Oh, wow, you are getting a lot of dreams. You are having massive dreams right now, and you are having totally spiritual experiences. You feel like the signs are everywhere. It's almost like, it's not just numbers, not just license plates. Like you're getting full-blown visions from the universe right now about what to do in relationships and who to be with and who not to be with or what to do. You need to follow them. Might sound crazy, but Spirit's trying to guide you through a chaotic mess right now. Your challenge is the Nine of Cups in reverse. It's like over-positivity about situations that you're putting into. So you're putting more in than you have. It's almost like running your credit card into debt. When it comes to trying to just be overall happy about situations instead of being like, maybe I just need to see this isn't fulfilling me all the way. And where do I need to face that instead of keep pumping it with more sugar? You know what I mean? Just, you know what? It's not tasting good. Let me just put more sugar in it right now. You pulled the Three of Pentacles. Man, Three of Pentacles dropped 3 times. It doesn't feel like you're building anything anymore. Or maybe you're picking partners that they don't have enough to go build something beautiful with, Virgo. Or it just doesn't feel like you're in sync building anything together. It's like small things, not big things. So there's like a misalignment kind of going on right now. Might not be the end of the world. I just think you need to follow your guides and be a little bit, stop the over-optimism to try and fix things in that way. You did pull the Moon card, with the Nine of Cups. So yeah, there's deep emotions here that you're going through, and you're trying your best to just be positive about things, but it's very difficult to do right now in your romantic life. And I would say that there's a lot of underlying issues, especially in this deck of this Moon card with the Soul. It is a deck that really shows that there's a lot of hidden emotional stuff here that you don't know how to express yourself, and you're trying to say that everything's extremely fine, I'm fine, everything's great, when there's definitely not a lot of that going on underneath, and there's an issue with being able to express your truth and to feel comfortable and happy with that for some reason. Or maybe you're single and you feel deeply alone, but you're too afraid to share fully your emotions, and you're always saying everything's fine instead of in putting on maybe a show. The High Priestess you pulled is with the Page of Cups. So, this is a good card. This is a card where all you have to do is communicate whatever you're feeling and you're sensing from spirit and the guides that are sending you this message. Like, how do you feel about it? And writing it out, saying it out. And it will relieve a lot of pressure. I think these are small things. Small things. Of course, with Virgos, it's small things. But I feel that you do feel very empty. And I do feel that you just need to, whatever you feel, you need to just say it, not be afraid to say it. And if some things are not going in the right direction with relationships and you've been your truth, like, you have to just be like, well, God for some reason is having, like my mom likes to say, God brings people into our lives and out of our lives for a reason. Let's get to that Three of Pentacles here. You did pull the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, it's like you need to find partnerships right now in love situations, or if you're in a relationship, try and repair this relationship to go build something really special in. And it's almost like maybe hyper-focused on trying to constantly fix, because the Three of Pentacles reversed is constantly having to go back and be like, oh, wait, you said it was this. It's the wrong angle. We need to take the whole thing off. Ace of Pentacles is saying that you have something beautiful you can go create, but it's like not with people who don't see eye to eye, don't see the same values, don't have the same understanding. And there's something beautiful that's trying to be had, out there, but you have to be real with the emotions. There's a lot about communicating the emotions and what you're sensing and what you're feeling, and acting like everything is okay when it's really not. And being okay with that, that's actually an amazing and beautiful factor in life. Like, it's okay that everything's not perfect. We were just talking about that. This is not a world to go live in the bullshit world anyway. Oh, like, I can only talk when I've got it all figured out. Or I can only do love when I've got it all figured out. Like, we're not even talking about wholesome shit. We're just talking about, like, just being real. You got your Mars here in Libra in the 12th house. Okay. So definitely there's definitely a lot of baggage that's not fair that you're going through spiritually, and you need to realize that this is actually rebalancing things out, but it's also cutting out a lot of things. So this could be cutting out a relationship, or cutting out the people in your life that don't see you for who your beautiful soul really is. And I think that you have to also own that beautiful soul, but you have to own that beautiful soul by also getting rid of the shit and the trash and the baggage that is not beautiful around your soul and around you in love and relationships. And you got to face that head on. Mars in Libra is not strong. It's in its detriment. And when it's in the 12th house, it's definitely you're feeling not in your strength. There's a lot of, almost uncertainty of how you're going to get through life right now in your relationship world, or you could even feel like you have these great dreams of this beautiful world, but you just don't believe that it will ever happen. Well, it will never happen if you don't say anything, you don't step into it, you don't follow your guide, you don't let your emotions out, and that you don't believe that it's possible to build.
Yeah, I just talked about this, briefly. Sometimes energetically we're spent. Sometimes we have given all that we can give for this moment, and it's about being honest that you're at that point with this individual that you're in the relationship of. Being honest with yourself that, hey, I can only give this much energy. I don't have all that to give you at this moment. I'm still trying to fill my cup up. You need to fill your cup up first. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to address it. You have to be upfront. You have to be honest, Because if you just continue to play along with those games, you're just going to drain yourself more and more and more and more because you're giving out that energy that you don't have. It's like writing checks that, you know, that your ass can't cash. It's the same concept of that. If you don't have it, you don't have it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just be upfront, be honest so that you can start to refill your cup so that you can begin to level back up and get back to your normal state.
You know, people used to actually do that. I actually have a buddy I know who actually got away with that for a minute when we were younger in high school and got rolled hard for that, writing checks that you couldn't cash. Capricorns. Capricorn, well, we are getting down. All that's left after Capricorn is Aquarius, Leo, Cancer, and Scorpio. That's quite a combo.
It's a party right there.
That is a party. Although the signs that have been done is a massive party. All right, Cappy. So we are here. And I'm going to start with the lunar eclipse first. Just real quick, just run down. Lunar eclipse in the 12th house? You know, I know that there's great fantasies out there, but also I think that it's like you just need to focus on what changes need to be done in your life, like in order to get the fantasy you want. Like instead of trying to deny whether you're in a partnership and you're just going to try and fluff it with as not even fakeness, but it's just like, you know, oh, this is meant to be, or also, you know, hermity, like this is where you can become a hermit right now, and that's not good. Like you need to be in reality for love. Uranus is in your 5th, but this big square to Mars in your 3rd house is you need stimulation, you need excitement, you need excitement. And so you're stressed because you're hermiting in not an exciting place, not an exciting relationship, or you're single and you're just in a hermitville. And then you keep wrapping your head around either single or not single. You keep like trying to figure things out when you're you truly know. And the Saturn Ceci square and semi-square in this lunar eclipse by Friday is saying, guess what? In order to have the things you want in your life, you have to be willing to be in the world, and you have to be willing to bring your soul into the world and not deny yourself for the world. And you need to make physical changes in your reality, and you have to be in reality to have love. You have to be in reality to change love. You have to be in reality to change the reality that you want instead of like kind of bowing out right now. There's like I'm just giving up in this relationship, and you're not even giving up on the relationship if you're in one, or you're single but you keep going to your ex, or you're still saying this one relationship that is this is beyond boring. It's like, well, it just works. Like it's just there. I don't want to make any changes. Why? Because you just want to keep your soul. This isn't even about being in a soulless relationship. This is about losing touch with your soul and reality. Wow, 7 of Swords in reverse. This is the card. This is the card that I don't like. I don't think anybody likes this card when it shows up. Because one, either you're just not revealing to, if you're single or even in a relationship, you're not revealing to the world or to others your truth at all. Like you're just not revealing what's really going on fully. You're afraid to show people who you really are. Or I'll be honest with you, you know, there's a part of you that also is thinking about other people or thinking about other things, but you just don't know how to deal with it. That's not a good space to be when you're in a relationship and you're totally thinking about something else and you're not even processing the person or walking by them every day or whatever. Like, you know, like, I'm just calling it out. Wow, 4 of Cups is your challenge. You definitely are just allowing yourself to not let anything good come in. No, I don't want anything good to come in. I'm denying good things, even though you like secretly want it in a weird way. It's like, you're like the secret keeper right now. It's like, I don't think you want to be that because it's reversed, but you're realizing like, you can't keep your life a secret. You're trying to hide something. Maybe it's, who knows what you're trying to hide, but you're afraid to be in the world and you're afraid to accept the great things Because either A, you don't want to shake things up, or B, you just don't want to reveal something. Because even if you take and it's good from God, it will be good. Nothing bad will happen. It's maybe you're even creating that craziness within yourself, but you know that you can't, you're walking on eggshells either way right now. But if you're single or not single, wow, you got the 5 of Cups. This week is definitely ending, especially with this lunar eclipse, as you know, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of sorrow. There's a lot that you know that has to be faced here either way. But that gets you to the other side. So if you have to end something that doesn't make sense, fucking, I know it might sound like sorrow, but at the end you're gonna be like, God, that feels so good. Because you'll be accepting what God's trying to give you. Or if you're single, like, yeah, there's gonna be that like fear and the sorrow of like stepping out of the weird zone that you're in. But gosh, that's not that serious, if that makes sense. Like, it's almost like creating these, like, God, I can't have, it's like, you know, when you're sick or when you just don't feel good and everybody's trying to help you and you're like, I don't want it. I'm fine. I'm just going to keep just living in my bullshit. Like, that's your love life. Wow. I knew the yod would show up somewhere tonight. Woo! The destiny. Well, destiny has arrived for you. That's something that you secretly haven't let either somebody know, or maybe sometimes you are talking to somebody in the background. Who knows? I don't know, Capricorn, but there's definitely a very hard truth, destiny, that is pointing you literally towards what you know feels like God's gift. No, not, I remember back in the day, I remember my buddy that used to sell nugs when I used to smoke dank, fucking back in the day, be like, God's gift, bro, it's God's gift. That's more, that's 25 a G. I was like, what the fuck? God's gift. But, you know, it's almost like, I don't smoke anymore, by the way, 8 years. But fucking, oh my God. It's like God's pointing, but it's a hard thing. You know, it's 2 quincunxes into a sextile. You know, I think that God's pointing you in the direction of, you know what it's God's trying to give you, but you're almost like not wanting to reveal it, or you're not wanting to reveal that it's there to yourself or have others find out about it, or you're just like afraid to step into your true destiny, the finger of God. God showed up twice in the same challenge positions. The 4 of Cups is the only place when God, besides the Judgment card, shows up to actually give you something. God's not asking you to do something with a horn, right? Like in the Judgment card. And the 4 of Cups is pretty simple. Like, here, I'm giving you a gift. You have it in, like, you don't want it. And then here's destiny. It's destined for you, and it's going to take you to where you need to go. And it might be a little uncomfortable, but sorrow leads if you don't. Oh, we are definitely going to go, ooh, look at this, new life. New life. Yeah, a life where you don't have to live in fucking your inner secrecy, or your inner, I don't know, what's the word, Craig, because you are a Scorpio, just like your inner false self. It's like tiptoeing around like a fucking creep ball. Like, what you really want. It's like, there's a whole new life waiting for you, and you're not going to have to feel like this weirdo and this creep ball inside in many ways.
It's like embracing the freak show within yourself.
Ooh, I like that. You're definitely getting a black mirror for this one, with this sorrow card. The downcast, the pride. You know what I think part of the issue is with the sorrow card and this? Look at, both cards are in sorrow. You need to stop playing the sorrow game, because you can have, God's trying to give you the ultimate new life and the ultimate brand new thing, and all you have to do is do it and just be it. If you know it's there, all you got to do is just fucking beep, and fucking there it is. But no. I shouldn't do that. You know, because pride, I know, is one of the 7 deadly sins. But there's something about like the downcasting it so much, where we have to have like the pride of that we love God, or we have to have the pride that we can have love. So, you know, I think one of the the way that every one of those 7 deadly sins, you did pull the 7 of swords, which is about those sins, and reversed. It's like you feel like a sinner. You feel like a sinner to actually have the new, exciting, destined life that God's trying to give you. That would be the sin. The sin is not accepting the life that God wants you to have and feel and love. Think about that shit. So you continuing to live the life that you don't want to live and God's trying to give you a better one and you're not taking it is the ultimate sin. Not the sin of actually taking it and being in your happiness, because God wants you to go live in love and happiness and greatness. Come on, Capricorn. What the hell's going on? Well, you got 7th house Scorpio Neptune. Oh, the truth is coming out this week. Wow. You might find it might be really sensitive, but man, if you truly allow yourself to break down the barriers and go intimate and intense and connect and truly go with where spirit is pulling you in relationships, I know that you might feel like you're fanatical, but I think that you'd be more fanatical not living in your truth. In denial of the truth of a relationship or of relationships themselves.
I saw someone in the chat, I think it was Divine, love something. They said self-sabotage. I like the way that they put that. You know, sometimes we kind of get in the way of ourselves of what we're actually truly worthy of attaining in this life. And it's very easy to get off that path and kind of say that we're not worthy for something when in all reality we are, you know, and we need to put that step forward and we need to appreciate ourselves. We need to get out of our own way. And yeah, I mean, I said, I'm a very big believer in you have to go out and get it, but at the same time, you can't force it. You know, when nature wants to bring something to you, when the universe wants to bring something to you, you have to be open and you have to be ready to receive that. Always be open to receive it. Always push forward and do it and get it yourself. But sometimes it's not as needed. Sometimes the universe is going to provide for you. But if you're not ready to receive it, if you're self-sabotaging, then you're not going to be able to enjoy that happiness that's coming to you.
Well, self-sabotage is done in two ways. There's self-sabotage that's done through purposely doing a self-sabotage because you're drunk or you're not in your awareness. But then there's self-sabotage that happens because there's no other way for Capricorn sometimes to expand their life because Sag is your 12th house. So it's like sometimes God does come and makes you self-sabotage something because who else would have done it, because you're the one in control of everything, you fucking damn Capricorn. So you have to self-sabotage your own life and then you feel guilty, but you shouldn't, because that was the only way that you would finally get to the truth. Fucking think about that shit. All right. We're near the end. Uh-oh. Is it party time? Scorpios.
Oh, shit. Because ain't no party like Scorpio party, baby. Blah, 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 blah. Woo! If you smell what the rock is cooking.
It's cooking up some scorpion tails tonight. Gonna have them as dessert.
They're a delicacy in some countries.
They are a delicacy in some countries.
I'm sure they'd be probably pretty crunchy. Has anybody in the chat tried scorpion? I'm curious as to how it tastes.
All right, Scorpio. Love is your amazing dream and also your sorrow of if it will ever come fully true, right? Neptune being in your 5th house, the passion, the intensity of life that you live with the Sun and Venus in the 8th house that's going to conjunct in retrograde Venus. But you know, with the lunar eclipse in Sag, it's like there's values that you have, but maybe they do sometimes get in the way of learning to just go into the unknown and go into the passion and see what's there, right? But if people throw up blocks to that, at least you went as far as you could to see what's there. And it's about being that Scorpio and just being like, okay, next. And not looking at it like you missed out on something in love or you miss out on love. The more that you keep trying to put the intensity in to see what's there, that's all you have to do. Instead of holding up values like, well, I value this, so I'm not going to really try to go in this. I'm not going to, it's like holding yourself back to what you really want to go experience You gotta go deeper into what you are. A Scorpio, you are intuitive. You know where the goods are. I dare you to go fucking try to do it. And it's not the goods from the past. It's not the goods of things that you already know are just gonna just be there and just be there. And being all hopeful about that this is some prize that you must find, because the only prize is the deep, passionate connection, and that's how the magic happens. I think that you're too focused maybe on a physical or a money or a certain way that it could look, when it's never about the look as with Scorpio. It's about the feeling, it's about the intensity, it's about the passion that creates the magic. Your first card is the Moon card reversed. Oh, got some emotional stuff going on, suppressed here. We got a lot of Scorpios here that are emotionally repressed and they need some emotional release in their life. Oh, so you got to let go, number one, of a lot of emotional baggage, relationship-wise. In order to really start to feel again, you got to stop suppressing it, or stop not allowing yourself to feel what you want to feel. But I think that part of the issue is that this Moon card reverse is always the things that you kind of want to feel, or the things that you know that you shouldn't, that are bad. So then when it looks to other areas, you kind of go, well, there's nothing good here. I'm just going to go back in my hole. It's like, no. You need to realize, like, what you think is going to feel good, you already felt it. Have you gone out and gone in more intense ways, figured out the other things? Instead of suppressing yourself from continuing to feel other things, to where you actually will look back and go, why the fuck was I holding on to that? Wow, look at this. You got the Death card as your challenge. You're afraid of transformation, intensity, and passion. A Scorpio, I'm afraid of that? What happened to my Scorpios that were all fucking passionate and intense and oh my God, I know it's a Scorpio party, but imagine a bunch of Scorpios on the floor with no stingers. Imagine if they cut the stingers off of Scorpios.
I'll pinch your ass.
Oh, I say, what would it be like, Scorpio, to not have genitals?
No thanks.
What's going on, Scorpio? Why are you so afraid to put an end, number one, to bullshit emotional past situations? That's one. Two, you actually have to do that by going into passionate emotional situations that you need to go see so you can have the death. Because there is no death without where's the next thing going. So you sit in this in-between world of gray, which is your worst place to be, is gray. Because you're afraid to go to the new light that is what it is. So you hold on to the dark, but you know you can't have it, so you don't have it. You know where the light is all the time. Go turn it on. Not Motel 6 either. 9 of Wands in reversed. Overall, you are having to take down all your walls. Yeah, take down all your defenses. It's like you're holding yourself back, and then it's weird, you know, it's like you let yourself down for energies that don't even feel like they are that great anyway. You already know where the special deep shit is. It's like you need to start going in that direction. You need to start leaving these weird places that you just keep trying to go to find the edge and the passion. Like, that's not where it is. Like, this is like going into the places that you're not going to the places that you know you should go, but you haven't had the full courage. Because you know with Scorpios, it's weird. When they know, they get terrified because they know it's going to transform their whole life so intensely and be a death rebirth. So they avoid it until they think they're ready, but they're never ready. It's like the rush comes, and as the rush comes, and then that's how the Phoenix rises. You don't, maybe dragons, like we just saw the Dragon launch of SpaceX, NASA. Yeah, that's a planned launch and all that shit. What's a dragon, though? They plan their whole thing. The Phoenix comes out of nowhere. What the hell was that? It's like having a planned big O, you know what I mean? Like, okay, at 10:12, and after 4 minutes of us doing this in 19 seconds, I'm going to have my O. Okay, okay. No.
Maybe 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
There you go. Look at this. You got the Virgo I analyzed card. I would say that there's a death. Maybe it's a Virgo you're attached to that needs to end, or maybe, that could be it. But also at the same time, it's like you have to reanalyze, like, where's the new life going to be from where the new death is? It's like you need to see what is pure, what is a reality that actually would make sense for your life instead of like going into realities that don't make sense. I think that you're picking emotional situations with realities that don't make sense. Ones that actually fit truly and purely. Also, there could be something about a Virgo that needs to end. Well, this was reversed. The King of Wands reversed. Yeah, so not only is the Moon reversed here, but it's the King of Wands reversed. So, yeah, I would say that you're emotionally suppressing the power of love. And I think that that's a mistake. Because it's just keeping you, there's a lot of kind of like depressive energy going on here. It's affecting a lot of things. The moon and the emotions affect everything. It's the foundation of your soul. So you want to change that? Well, put an end to the shit that you don't want to do anymore, that you know is bad, and don't be afraid to emotionally invest in checking out which maybe you've never crossed this bridge. Maybe you've never finally put your defenses down and allowed what you know, because you actually, when you look deeply, know it'll change your life forever. You're getting a black mirror card for this Nine of Wands reversed. Fated to suffer. Yeah, this is what you keep doing, is like you feel that you're fated to suffer. Look at this, the apple too, to Snow White. It's like, I'm fated to suffer because you keep dropping your drawbridge down to situations that are somewhat easy, and you're afraid to drop down your defenses to the truth of a place that is the last place you will suffer. But you're also are addicted to suffering in love situations, and that's what you need to stop defending in yourself. It's like you're defending suffering situations, or defending to still be connected to it in some sort of way. 7th house, Aries, Sun. Well, it's time to have the courage to enter into the relationships that you want to try, and not, of course, like I said, ones that you've already tried before. Like this is Aries, fresh, new. It's like you know exactly, you have identified exactly. You know, being Scorpio is like being like a hawk, right? Like you know where your prey is, and then you go. And I think that this is you having to identify the kind of relationship that you want. You know what it's want. You see where it is. Fucking go and see what's there. Simple. Don't live in the gray.
Don't live in the gray, black or white. I ended my Scorpio talk last week quite abruptly. So elaborate a little bit more.
Fated to suffer.
Fated to suffer. But you know, the good thing about that is, though, I'd say the Scorpios, we are adequate to deal with that suffering. You know, we do feel the depth and the emotion, the love. We've got the highs and the lows, you know, but it's embracing both of those and not shutting out one just to reside down in the darkness where we feel most comfortable. We do need to show ourselves in the light. We do need to put ourselves out there more. That is true, 110%. We do need to allow people in. You know, maybe it's those trust issues. Maybe it's the trust issues with ourselves because, like David's saying over there, we're afraid of that full transformation, which can come from that true happiness. And that can be scary because with that happiness, there's always that ability to get let down and to get that heartbroken. But we have to try, because with that, if that does happen, we are going to learn something, and we're going to gain an immense amount of strength from it. So we can never be afraid to do that. I think it's time that we climb out those caves just a bit, you know, and let that sun shine on our face, or our little creature face and eyeballs that we have.
Well, it's the only way to make something new in your life, or go to the next level.
Definitely.
Like, you're just going to stay on the same level. Especially, I would say, all Scorpios this week, if you're going to try and go to a past or an old relationship that didn't work, you'd fuck this one up bad. Well, that's all people trying to revive up an ex, like that you've been in a relationship with, like an XX, you know what I mean? So that won't work. You're not moving up, you're moving backwards. And this is definitely time to move up. So, just had to say that. Cancers, we have Leo and Aquarius last. Cancers. All
right.
Well, I feel you. All the crabs, I feel you all. This is a very weird time with a lot of 12th house. Sun, Venus, retrograde in your 12th. Really confusing. Where the hell am I going in my love life? Is this all real? Am I lost? Am I confused? Yeah. Square to Mars, your story that you believed in has changed. That's okay, because it wouldn't be a great story and a great book if it didn't change. You know, Cancers have to realize that their life is about being in the mood of the emotions. You guys are water, fixed water. I mean, cardinal water, though. That means that you have to beeline the boat in a new direction to change the story. Because if you stay in the same place forever, then, you know, you're not Scorpio. Cancers try to think they're Scorpios, but really they're not. Like, this overcommitment is they stay the longest, Cancers. But there's that whole element now with this lunar eclipse that's going to be in Sag, which for you is your 6th house, is like, you can't fix broken shit. And believe that you can fix broken shit. Spirit is showing a completely different story and a completely truthful set of facts to these very confusing situations and off-feeling situations. And even it's almost like you're seeing through the veil of the truth of like, how did I get into this? And this looks really weird. Or if you're single, like, why am I trying to be so nitpicky in what I really want? And it has to be part of this story. Guess what? Yeah, you might not get to watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette this year. You might have to watch the what? The fucking... The web version, the Zoom version. That's going to crumble your story. So I'm not saying that all Cancers do that, but majority of Cancer women I know do. I would just say that there's that whole element of like, these stories you've created are changing, and you have to not be trying to fix. And you know, it's like getting tape out. I don't know why my guides are showing me like tape and construction paper, and you're trying to like do the Riddler in Batman as Jim Carrey and like make his little fucking note that he sends to Batman of like how you're going to like fix things in your life, like this crazy way. And well, also like being guided to what you know is true and being honest and speaking out from your deepest soul truth. And not getting lost into trying to keep the story the same. Not trying to keep the engine running when it's out of oil. Well, you pulled the five of swords. You pulled the 5 of swords, so definitely got to put a little bit more effort into things. Or maybe you're putting too much effort. I would say you need to put effort into things that you know you haven't been putting effort into in the way that you want to with partnerships, or towards the partnerships that make more sense. And I would say that you're putting too much effort into things that people are like, I would say more spiritually guide-wise are kind of like, what are you doing? We've given you so many signs. Like, why are you pushing it so hard? Nobody even wants to deal with this guide-wise, spiritual-wise. It's like you're trying to push your own trail a little bit too hard here. We're going to get more clarity on that. You did get the Queen of Swords as your issue, your challenge. Well, I think that the challenge is that you think that you know exactly what's going on in which direction, and you were beelined in exactly your mental state of where things were going. But I think the challenge is that it's not going that direction, and that you think if you just keep staying in that beeline direction, that'll fix things. But this is definitely saying that that's not going to work. You have to reassess your whole entire understanding of your love life right now. 4 of Pentacles in reversed. The overall is that you have to let go of some very deep-seated values that you have held too deeply to, that are holding you from the love that you want in your life. And I think you're not trying enough for the values that you actually really want. And I think you're overdoing the values in which that you think that you knew the direction towards too much, that actually have flipped on you and they don't show any value anymore. You pulled the Jupiter abundance card. You have all the powers in the world and all the open doors that you could ever have. And it's a 7. Man, the ultimate spiritual doors are trying to open to you if you're willing to just re-look at the facts and beeline in a new understanding in a new factual place. Like, this is a pivot that's going to open up a great new door, but don't be afraid of the pivot. And don't be thinking the pivot's a fix either. Like, oh, I'm just going to pivot a little bit to fix the situation and use the abundance to just, it's like, let me use a wish to try and fix something that is broken and will break again. It's not going to work. Use the wish to pivot to a wish you've never had before and a story that you never had before based off values you really want, instead of holding on to these old values and don't do anything anymore, and you keep pushing for them and they just keep they keep flying farther and farther away. Oh, wow, you got the transmute card there. Woo, the snake. Well, transmutation, about pushing too hard for things that don't work and shedding off the things that don't work is how you transmute this, by like letting go and letting your old identity and your old skin come off. Like, ooh, there's passion with the snake too. So it's almost like passion of what you really want in life, because I don't even think you're using passion to try and get what you want. It's almost like passionless pushing. Like, what are you pushing for? Security? What are you pushing for? Just to keep it working? You definitely are getting a black mirror. Forgetting oneself. Forgetting oneself based off the fact that you're still holding on to old values of what you want in love that don't make sense anymore. Or they could be that you are basing those values off other people and not your own values that you really want. So it's like, well, my partner or my family or these people want me to do this. It's like, well, how's that going for you? You're forgetting your own self. You're forgetting your own self and what you really want. And that's what this is all about. To transmute and to get to the true energy of your true self. You pulled, wow, a lot of 7th house been popping up. Sun, 7th house, Taurus. Wow, yeah, you gotta go have the best quality relationship of your life. You gotta rebalance the values, because there's an obvious 4 of Pentacles there with us forgetting oneself, that you have to put your own self first, and you think that's imbalanced. That's not. Putting yourself first and putting your values first, and this is physical attraction too. Like, maybe, and I think I brought this up for Cancers recently. There's something about physical attraction. It's like, where's the real physical attraction for you? Instead of trying to keep the story looking beautiful by, having to rip out the page and replace it with a different picture or filter the shit out of the person. Big questions there.
Oh, it's coming to me like this, but I was playing Wii archery, and it's almost like, I don't know if anybody's out there playing or shot real archery, but in those close, in the beginning stages of it, you can kind of just point straight forward and you know where you're going. You know where that shot's going to go. It's just going to go straight. It's going to hit that bullseye. But as the target's moving forward, as we're moving through in life, you got to adjust that. You got to aim higher. You got to get the trajectory right. You got to pay attention to the wind. There's all these different aspects in life that are going to kind of throw things off a little bit. And if you're not easily able to adapt and pivot, as the Leo King was saying, you're going to miss your target. You're going to miss the shot. So you always have to kind of readjust as we move through this. Reset your feet, reset your mind, reset your breath, calm down just a bit so you can actually pull back, get that trajectory, aim higher, and hit that target.
Yeah, because if you don't, well, let's think this full moon in Sag is the 6th house for Cancers. So it's like the target is to try and fix broken shit that you believe in with the South Node. It's a hypnotic, I can fix this. I figured out, I don't know, I do this a lot, right? Like, even with my brand new Mustang that broke, I thought I could fix it. I have the OBD2, I have the computer, it's just this, it's just that. I got it towed here. And then you know what? I probably spent a good 2 hours trying to fix that motherfucker. And then you know what? It's like, I'm like, you know what? It's got to go to the dealer and get fixed. Like, I can't fucking fix it myself. It's like you got to get rid of that kind of like aiming sometimes in a delusional place and aim towards the place in life that actually is like where I knew inside that I should just be easier and just give it to the dealer. It's brand new. It just clicked 1,000 miles and fucking, there's an issue. So it's like, but why did I go through that whole, no, I can fix this and I can, you know what I mean, in life? Like, what? And then you think you do, and then it all comes back and you're like, no, what the fuck am I doing? It's like, that's because you're not aiming to the truth. Which reality or love is not something to ever be fixed. Love is not fixed on the planet, meaning fixing. Leo is the fixed fire sign because love is fully constant and never is broken. Like the sun. Which it's down to Leo and Aquarius, so let's see who it's going to be. Who will be last, who will be first? I will be last, Aquarius will be second to last.
Save the second best for last.
Hey, you know what? I was like, I think first last week. I'll be last this week. The Aquarians. I think this is a good one for Aquarius. I know that Aquarians are thinking, oh God, I'm going to get my ass reamed by him again. No, this is a good positive, energy. Sun and Venus are in your fifth. But that that Cassini, that inferior conjunction point on Wednesday is saying, okay, maybe I do need to value happiness and love more in my life. It's where the North Node's pointing. I think that the issue is always trying to keep friendships going too much. And so that's the whole thing is like, can you just be truly your heart? Can you let your heart out more? The squares to Mars and to Neptune are definitely bringing a lot about trying to hold on to things that seem like they slip away from you. But I think that this full moon in Sag is reminding you that you can't go into a laboratory and make the perfect thing to have love-wise that you can hold on to forever. That's impossible. It's like, it's a little bit of like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I like the version with Jerry Lewis better. When he's the scientist in a lab and then he comes, then Jerry Lewis with his smoke and his coat jacket and he's all suave. This is the transition of Aquarius right now. Letting go of, I need some special potion or I need some special thing or, we need to be more friends first or we need to, it's like, go fucking live your most beautiful, loving life. You've got all these planets in your 12th house saying you've got a moment to check out of reality and just go into the magical journey of love. Because when you come with all the planets into your sign at the end of this year and the beginning of, and all through this decade, wouldn't you rather have, while you're stepping into yourself, the ultimate love? Or are you going to miss this boat and go into that and be so focused on yourself that you'll never even have time to go find it? Or be real with your partner of where you're at, or speak about the hardships of where maybe your heart's not at and stuff. Six of Pentacles reversed. I know that maybe you feel that you're kind of in a place where you can't give much, or you're giving too much, or you feel like it's unfair, or, you just kind of feel like, maybe you just keep dealing with people who don't give you anything back in return. So you feel like a little bit like it makes you feel like a charity case, or it makes you feel desperate that you don't like to feel that way. I know Aquarians don't like to feel desperate. But come on. This doesn't have to be so bad. I think that this is just you kind of removing this idea of, what is the balance in life with relationships and give and take? And maybe this is quarrels with people about values and realizing, hey, we have different values, but we still see so many. What are the common values? And focusing on those. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. The challenge here is definitely being in the same cycle and just doing it over and over again. It's like being on a factory conveyor belt of not being in your full happiness. And that's the challenge, is that you're afraid to remove the conveyor belt in which you continually do your relationship, your love life, your dating life. It's like you're on the same belt, or you put yourself in a position to where you think that you've mastered this belt and it will bring you everything you want. And then it's the constant blame externally that, well, I'm a master, I understand love and you don't. So guess what? Like, it was your issue, but maybe it was your conveyor belt that didn't allow anybody to truly stay. Temperance card. This is definitely moving you to a much more beautiful place and energy this week. I think that even though it's like realizing that things need to change and maybe you might not feel like you're at your best, well, I think that it's like, yeah, you got to focus on giving the charity of love and happiness to your life and changing the way that you go about your values of love and how the system is and how you work those values in order to realize that God has a magical way of bringing magic into this beautiful earth. And it's not when it's in a place of feeling insecure or feeling like it doesn't have anything to give, because God feels like it has something to give every millisecond. And it definitely doesn't use the same conveyor belt all the time. It definitely has multiple different ways. It's open, it adjusts. Nothing on the earth looks the same, even though we can say that looks the same, that looks like a desert. This human looks like that human, but no, everybody's unique. Everybody's different. Every tree's different. Every strand of DNA, every part of this whole reality, right? You pulled the Mercury retro card. You need to rethink how you go about your day-to-day activities with your relationships and love. It's a reinvention happening. So it's like, you know, the way that your relationship is and the way you approach it, and it's kind of turned into, and especially if you're single too, it's like, you know, you might be avoiding love. You might be not really trying it. You're trying the friend thing, right? South Node, Lunar Eclipse in the 11th. Like, you're trying to do the disconnected thing, the cool thing. Like, get dramatic, get real, rethink that this is not, love is not a conveyor belt and how it comes in. The Six of Pentacles reverse you got is the gratitude. You know what it is? Gratitude is the attitude, baby. That is what the ultimate thing of charity is, to give to people, but you have to give it to yourself first. For some reason, you're not giving yourself the gratitude that there can be great light and love by sharing that love and by expressing it and letting people know that love, instead of thinking that you're going to get burned. You're going to give away your gratitude and not get any back. Well, guess what? That's all you're going to attract in. That's the conveyor belt. I'm doing a dark mirror. Obsession. You want the truth so bad. You want the love so bad, but I think that you're afraid of that it's going to come with a lot more of you having to step into beauty and grace and accepting people and the obsessions that you might have of how it should look, instead of the connection to the naturalness of how life and love works. It's a process that's beautiful, and it's not perfect, but that's what makes it so beautiful. You got Neptune, 12th house, Jupiter. So this is definitely trying to open up the spiritual capacity more in your life, but I would say also remove, in a good way, all the subconscious blocks about love and removal, and also being a hermit. Like, I think that it's not bad that you're being a hermit, but you also have to be willing, if you're going to be in hermit mode and you want these big dreams to happen, at least bring something into the hermit world or be part of the world. You have to always be part of the world, but I think that you need to find the ultimate magic by experiencing magic and going with the flow of magic and not having any certain system that it should look like. And at any moment going, well, this isn't this. It's like, just fucking go with the flow fully and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you know, complacency can be the greatest downfall when it comes to love, can be the greatest downfall when it comes to relationships. Complacency can be a great downfall when it comes to life. You know, when we feel like we have it all figured out, we kind of lack that appreciation. We kind of just become mundane and just settled within those ways. And we always have to be able to evolve. We always have to be able to level up, you know, find that appreciation. You can't just be satisfied with where you're at. Always look to evolve. Always look to achieve. Like I said before, aim higher, hit that target. You can never have it all figured out. That's never going to happen. I think that the individuals think that they do. The individuals that just sit there and say, oh, I'm in love. Oh, we're in love. We're so happy. You still have to work for it. That love might be there. That desire might be there, but you still have to work for it. You got to put that effort into the individual and show that you love it. You know, don't get complacent. Don't get lazy when it comes to love or life.
And that's why God brought Leos on the planet to show people how to do that every fucking day of the week. Well said, my Scorpio brother.
Thank you.
Complaint
I'll be here all night.
I'm not even going to say that word because I don't live it. Full-blown love and fucking affection and light is what we do as a Leo, and we always laugh at the end of the fucking day, even when we get all fucking frustrated as the king and queens we are. We always throw a party at the end, and it's always the best party. And we always want to be part of the best party, and we won't go to any fucking shitty ones. And we will leave if your party is shitty. We will leave if you are not happy. We will leave if you are fucking not connected. So, Leo, that's the big question. We have to have a talk. I have to have a talk with myself. It's just kind of weird right now looking at this camera and this screen that I have right here, and I'm a Leo sun, Leo rising. I'm looking at both my Leos. My sun and my rising. So, Leo, this is a big full moon, lunar eclipse. This is a big sun-Venus retrograde. I'll be honest, for Leos, this one's pretty fucking popping. I remember when I was a young astrologer and I fucking would only wait for Gemini and Sag shit because that's all 5th, 11th house shit. But with the South here and the lunar eclipse in the 5th house, it's like, you know that love's possible, but there's a big world out there. Will that love fit into the work that you do in the world, or want to build things that help the world together? Like, it's one thing to just have love. It's another for somebody who wants to connect and be more than just love, and also have friendship, and also have a part that knows how to be part of your group and be part of their group. And, you know, there's like building a kingdom, right? And so, you know that you can have the love. That's not your issue. So stop like getting lost in being like, am I not lovable, or am I not attractive enough in the way, or am I not shining my love good enough, or anything like that? Because that's all that South Node shit and belief shit that needs to run out the window. And you need to go remember that you are the most stimulating party fucking person on the planet. You need to go throw the party of your life. Show people the party that you are. Show people how you know how to connect with all parts of people and all parts of life, and how crazy you are, and how you know how to fucking run a kingdom. Not a lot of people know how to do that. That's why the sun runs the kingdom of the fucking zodiac. It runs all the planets. And it does it laughing and having fun and having a great time and knowing how to be friends with all the planets. And knows how to even be cool with the moon. That's a moon. It's not even a planet. It's revolving around a planet. Knows how to be cool with Chiron, an asteroid. Knows how to be cool with Juno. Knows how to be cool with everything. Knows how to be cool with other kingdoms and other suns and other fucking galaxies. Binary star systems. Finding your twin star is not easy being a Leo. Not easy. So stop this whole notion of, I don't believe that love's possible, and just focus on your crazy radical Leo self that knows how to have the time of its life with people. And that's how love will come. Not when it's like you have to prop up the show and prop up and show how great you are in your own world, in your own heart. You don't need to prove how much love you have. People know. Even though you might doubt that shit, people know. People know so well that they're fucking intimidated by you, and I think that you need to realize that. You're a lion, you're courageous, and you're not afraid. That's scary to every fucking soul on the planet that you have, that nobody else has. That you can show up every day with courage and love, and even in a world that's crazy, go, this fucking world ain't crazy. Fucking, are you having a good day, motherfucker? That's why this North Node in the 11th house of Gemini is remembering that it's the royal court where you find your love. Without a royal court, there is no love. Because it's boring, because a king and queen never work out in a kingdom with not a royal court, without a jester to laugh with, without the, you got to have your best dude that you go, if you're a guy, Leo, go run out and go do night adventures with, and the women to go, if you're a queen, to go have all your, girls that you go try your dresses on and go create massive parties and do banquets with and all those things. That's where you find love, because it's through, that friend, or it's through that, or it's through the excitement of what you do for the world as a king or a queen. That is how love is going to come in. Instead of you focusing, why isn't love showing up? Why isn't love showing up? It's because you're focused too much on why and wonder, and remembering that you are the why and wonder to everybody on how you are love. All you got to do is go be it. Go show the world that you are it by just being in the world and just connecting with people till somebody fully really wants to be that king or queen in your life. And this week, that's all you have to do. Because the squares to the 8th house of Mars and Neptune are showing, guess what? People are either going to be all in or all out. And as a kingdom, you only want people all in on the spiritual message and that are truly see you for who you are in your light. And so you can't get mad at yourself and be this, nobody wants to love me if nobody really wants to be all in. It just means that they maybe want to be in another kingdom, and that's just the way it is. Because guess what? They're missing out on the ultimate party, and they're probably terrified of the passion and the love and the intensity that you are. And anybody that's afraid of that fucking intensity and afraid of that love and afraid of that magical adventure and that magic carpet ride that Aladdin fucking gives Jasmine doesn't deserve that shit anyway. 7 of Pentacles reversed. I think you're tired of working your ass off and feeling like no love is coming your way. Well, maybe you just need to stop working for love. Because you already are love all the time. You shouldn't have to work for love. You just are love. So you know what? Maybe you need to just stop working for it, or thinking that, you got to keep going out and, and fucking doing something to show it. It's just like you're getting no returns by trying to work at something that you are naturally attracted as love and are love. The challenge here, the 6 of Swords. So it almost feels like you want to go to this other side in a happy place, but there's some sort of block here. It's like you feel like either somebody's not coming along on the ride with you, or it just kind of feels like the boat hasn't shown up. But I think that's the challenge, is like, stop looking for the boat. You are always on the side of love. You don't need to go to this new place to get love. You don't need to change yourself to go to a new place. People want to show up to the kingdom. People want to show up to the sun. They don't want to have the sun come into their world. They don't, right? Like, it's like they have to, the planets have to come towards the sun as close as they want heat or not heat. You don't need to go to some other side and work really hard to find love, to find happiness. You just got to be happy in where you're at. And this is interesting. This is a lot of internal work. This is the Page of Wands in reversed. So overall, it's like, stop expecting people to show up and tell you the love that they want. It's like you have to be willing to put out, like, hey, very 11th house, communication, Gemini, hey, I want, put out the invites to the party. Put out the invites to the party of love. If you're in a partnership, put out the invite to, hey, do you want to make this great, or do you just want to keep just doing the same old bullshit and working tirelessly for this? Like, I'll give you a doorway out. There's an invite out that door if you don't want it, and being okay with that. And I think that this is a part of you where it's like, stop expecting people to invite you. invite people, and whoever RSVPs will show up. And just have fun and have the time of your life by learning to see that all people are weird and different. And I know it feels weird being a Leo because everybody thinks that we feel the most not alone. But we do feel the most alone because we are the only star in the zodiac. So it sucks sometimes because it's hard to find star-like quality in everybody. And people are weird. And we are living in an Aquarius North Node energy because it's in the 11th house. So we are feeling off. We are feeling weird. We are feeling like we are misunderstood. And that's the issue. Is that you're not misunderstood for bad things. You're misunderstood because of the fucking wonder that you bring to the world that they just don't know how to contemplate. And people who will get it, that you also align with. And it's about just continuing on the journey with invites, or if you're in your relationship, getting to a point to where if they don't want to be there, then let them walk out the door. Okay. Next. I was on that show. Wow, the Venus love card came to get you through this Six of Swords in reversed as the challenge. This feeling like no boat's coming. Well, there's no boat coming because love's coming to the place to where you're at in your life, not you having to go somewhere, not you having to chase love either. I think that's why you send out the invites, you send out the RSVPs, and love will come. If it doesn't come from certain places, stop trying to figure out to believe how to shine brighter and wasting all of your light on energy that doesn't want to come. If you have to convince somebody to the party, well, that's not going to be fun. Wow, 8 of Pentacles upright. So I think this is interesting. The 7 of Pentacles reversed coming into the 8 of Pentacles is like, you've worked tirelessly, so now you just got to be as you are and just keep running the system of who you are. You don't need to fucking work too hard at it. You just got to just run the system of fucking being a badass fucking Leo that fucking knows exactly what they want, knows exactly the love they are. And stop working so tirelessly on shit that isn't running efficiently. Because you don't run efficiently when you have to work too tirelessly to prove your brightness and your love. It won't work out that way. And it never comes. The more you push and try as a Leo, never happens. Every love scenario for a Leo happens on the last second at the moment when they're like, there's just no way this shit's happening, but I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time in my life and I'm just enjoying it. And then bam, love just shows up right there like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It never is when it's planned. Never is. And I'm going to pull Black Mirror for Leos. Bride in a cage. You know what? You do feel like you're stuck in a cage, or you feel like the love of your life is stuck, or you feel like your relationship's stuck in a cage, and you want some good news to come in that's not coming in, so it makes you feel tired or depressed or not happy. But what if I were to tell you that maybe, especially looking at this one with the pink lines, like what if those are laser lights and maybe you're not in a cage, you're in the fucking cage of like the most amazing party ever. And nothing has to come in order to get you out of this cage. Maybe the cage is the cage of you not just waiting for something to come. It's just you just being yourself that pulls you out of the cage. Because I think that there's an attachment of waiting, and you don't need to wait. You just have to be. And when you be, you become it. It shows up. And you just got to go have fun and do the things that interest you, do the wishes that you like to do in your life, be part of as many of the groups as you can, be part of as many of the circles that you can, and eventually people will be like, damn, who is that motherfucker right there? Bam! Pretty simple. Well, Sun and Sag in the 8th house. Wow. Well, I would say that this is just keep on believing, but also it's about you want intensity, you want depth. That's all, everything in the biggest story of all told. So, but it's also about learning to attract things. You don't need to go after things. It's about just being the positive and, positive self that just is the seductive quality in itself. And it will attract, and people know your depth, will know, and will be there. You don't need to go run after anything. You don't need to go build anything crazy. So, quite a story that's going to be told of transformation this week for Leos by just being a Leo in the world. That's all she wrote for Deep Love Tarot on this crazy Venus inferior conjunction with the sun and lunar eclipse. The first lunar eclipse. We have two this summer, or just in this next month, and we have a solar in 2 weeks. So Spiritual Dance Music Friday. Make sure that you remember highvibe.tv. Get us on our apps. Get us on highvibe.tv and get my 2020 What's Next video. I make a lot of big predictions in there, and that, holy cow, a lot of people hit me up and made stories. I don't know if you watched it on my Instagram. Hope you're following me on Instagram. Because guess what? There's a bunch of people who watched it and went, holy cow, how did this motherfucker guess this shit? When you already thought I couldn't guess it, I guessed it. Maybe you want to check it out. What are some final thoughts from Scorpio Craig?
Oh, final thoughts. I think we all need to be open to feel every emotion right now. I think that we shouldn't shy away from what we're feeling. If you feel like you need to express it. Talk to an individual if you need to. Get everything that's on your chest out so that you can really kind of get to know yourself, get to know the individuals around you, the tribe that you're living with, and who you're going to have in your life going forward. I think it's very important right now to be open, to hear, to be trusting, to be empathetic, and to be understanding. I think in times like these that we're going through, and that we'll be going through for a bit here in the future, I think it really comes down to understanding where individuals are coming from. And to try to lead with your heart, not from an emotional state, but from like a true, authentic place within your heart.
I think that the best thing that we can do that is how you say, experience every fucking emotion possible. Just like, I like to say, put it all out on the table. And what do we do on the show? It's all out on the table. I mean, this fucking table is full of cards. It's full of this. It's full of that. It's full of everything. Put it out on the table to be seen emotionally. See what happens. It's the only place that things happen. It reminds me of how the Zodiac is told through Leonardo da Vinci in the Last Supper of Jesus. It's all there on that table. It's breaking bread, right? And I think that this is a time to break bread with emotions and putting it all out on the table and have everybody or everything in yourself and just show up with all the feelings there. Make sure that you check out highvibe.tv. We moved Deep Astrology to Wednesday nights. We're trying to come up with a new show for Tuesday. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be done with the edits so we can actually release the docu-series that I'm doing with Anne. Make sure you check out Art to Life with Kim Tabay and her new awesome painting that's behind us that you can learn to paint on yourself. And she has many other episodes that are all free on the website and the apps.
Yeah, also, you'll see, she talks about it, but you can see that there's some verbiage written around there. So she wanted to share that. So some of the things she says, I am love. Patient, kind, I possess beauty and gifts. I'm empowered to always learn and evolve. I desire my peace, joy, and true happiness. I'm here to share with gifts to you. I'm a mom. I'm a friend. I have courage, strength, understanding, love, compassion, spiritual wealth, knowledge. I have an abundance of love and enlightenment. So that's something that you'll be able to add to your personalized painting. Your strength. I think that's also very important right now, is knowing your strength and where you sit in this life. Don't lose sight of your plan. Don't lose sight of who you are and all the work that you've done.
That's beautiful. And it's beautiful that Kim knows how to do that through the art and so many other different shows that she's done here that have all different stories and have all different ways of expression. And it's really simple, And right now is a time for us to find the art, and especially when it comes to love, when it's combined with art, when it's combined with expression, when it's combined with putting all the emotions out there, it is a painting. What does your love painting look like in your life? Is it just some fake IKEA shit, or is it the real shit? I don't even know if IKEA's open anymore. Long story short, we love you. Thanks for sharing this video. Wednesdays, Deep Astrology. Thursdays, full disclosure. Everyday daily horoscopes, of course. All the sun signs are up on Mondays, and the weeklies, and the weekly tarot, weekly intuitive, and the daily tarots are on the dailies. And Friday is spiritual dance music for the lunar eclipse. We hope to see you there for all these shows by being on highvibe.tv. And we will see you with Deep Astrology Wednesday and spiritual dance music Friday. And if you're on the app, we'll see you on all the other shows and Full Disclosure, where you get to have and ask us anything. Send those emails to hvfulldisclosure@gmail.com. Adios.
Be safe out there.
Good luck. 10 out of 10. But that means if you're looking for a 10 in your life, and you are a 10, because we all are,